my beloved Tigers play made it all the more special.
Yeah, Norm Cash famously took a table leg up to home plate to take his whacks against Nolan Ryan. Here in this state, we can recall your description of Michigan State and Indiana State, Magic and Larry Bird. That was a triad of announcers. I don't think we'll see your likes again with Al McGuire and Billy Packer and yourself. How much fun was it to be with those guys?
You know, what the shame is, we were only together 4 years. People think we were there longer. Billy then went to CBS, and Al stayed with me, and we were then the team for 10 years. And in fact, he taught me about life, Al McGuire. He saw it from a different angle than all the rest of us. He was the most incredible character that I've ever met. No one in second place. I've even written a one-man, one-act play about Al McGuire, and I think about him almost every day because he sees through all the barbed wire of life, and he said that's really what's happening. Dixie, as he would call me.
Yes, indeed.
And yes, we had a great time together. Al was the star, but didn't know it. And Billy was the one who knew basketball more than Al, and I was just the MC. I just kept passing back and forth, kept him out of a fight. If Al saw blue, Billy saw red. Al saw white, Billy saw black. But we loved each other, and I think that's you've learned in your great career. You really get to love your colleagues, just like the ball players say, what did you miss most about when you retired? I miss the clubhouse. I miss the guys. And that's exactly what I'm going to miss most of all as well.
All right, well, you're only a little bit older than I am. I will give you that. But I can recall Van Patrick being one of the voices of my youth, and he was one of the voices that sort of shaped your broadcasting beginning.
He was the one that not only broadcast Tiger games, but Detroit Lions games.
Sure.
But I go back when we moved from the war from California in 1946 back to Michigan for the farm. My dad took me downtown Detroit once, and in the old Pantages Theater, he said, look in that booth there. There's Harry Heilman was recreating games off the ticker tape. So it was Heilman, and he then Patrick with Mel Ott and Paul Carey, God bless his soul, who was such a good friend and preceded me at Mount Pleasant at Central Michigan. The announcers, of course, then you go to the beloved Ernie Harwell. I don't know if there's ever been a broadcaster, baseball or any other sport, so dearly loved by everyone as Ernie Harwell.
Well, perhaps you are included in that company as well. We want to say thanks for all the memories, and here's to 3 hours more of them here at Comerica Park this afternoon. All right, Dick Engberg.
Thanks, John.
All the best. Don't be nervous up there with Gibby. Don't let him bully you around. Okay?
Oh, my.
It's now been 10 years since the Tigers' magical summer of 2006, which saw them soar into the World Series, and watching Todd Jones work had some breathlessness attached to it. We'll recall the Tigers closer who was never, ever dull. The Tigers Live continues in just a moment.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That ball is up, and it is gone. A home run. Throw to second. The tag. Got him.
Watch Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Go, streaming live all season long.
Ernie Harwell famously nicknamed him the roller coaster, and Todd Jones loved it, recognized it, wore the nickname proudly. On this date, 10 years ago, Jonesy recorded his 155th save as a Tiger, setting the all-time franchise record. He coaxed a fly out in the ninth to preserve Nate Robertson's 3-0 win over the Reds. He ended up with 319 for his career. 235 of them were here in Detroit, a far distance ahead of Mike Hanneman, and those two followed by John Hiller, Willie Hernandez, and Papa Grande, Jose Valverde. Tigers Live continues from the ballpark. Rod Allen Reed joins us now. Todd Jones was and is a beauty. It was a little bit hinky anytime Jonesy came out of the bullpen.
You know, he was one of those guys where everybody got on the top step, and the fans kind of got on the edge of their seats, too, when he came into the game, John. But the bottom line, as you said, 235 career saves. This guy got it done at the back end of the game. He had the mentality of turning the page. When he would have a bad day, he would come out the next day, and he would be a totally different guy, ready to go to work again. And that's what you have to have as a closer. You have to have that mentality to forget about what happened yesterday, and Todd Jones was one of the best at it. He was a character.
And these days he is working within the Tigers organization as sort of a roving bullpen consultant. Last night here at the ballpark was Polish American night, so we had 2 different anthems. We're back to just one this afternoon, and I'm sure you've imagined that the nerves that are felt by that singer who's about to singing a song which is not so easily sung. Johnny Kane is not singing the anthem today. You're welcome for that, but he's standing by with the performer who is this afternoon. Johnny?
I am. Hermina Hirsch here is a Holocaust survivor from Southfield, Michigan, who's going to be singing the national anthem today. And I first have to ask you, you look great, first of all. Are you nervous about singing the anthem here?
Not really.
No?
No.
You said maybe your family's a little more nervous?
Yes, I think so.
Who's all with you today?
My husband, my 2 sons, and their wives, and their grandchildren, great-grandchildren.
That's a lot.
Everybody here. Yes.
So you said this was a bucket list item for you. You always wanted to sing at a baseball game. How did this all come together? How did it end up working out?
Well, I just made up my mind one evening when my kids were at supper. I said, I'm going to sing at the national anthem at the baseball game. Not I will, I am. So.
And I think there was some social media with Facebook. There were some people that got behind you, correct?
Right.
So there's going to be thousands of people here listening to this rendition of the national anthem, and you don't think you're too nervous?
I'll see when I'll sing it.
Well, we're all looking forward to hearing it today, and certainly it's going to be a special opportunity for you and for everybody here in attendance. Thank you for taking a few minutes, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Hermina Hirsch here, going to be singing the national anthem for the Detroit Tigers. I'm looking forward to it, John. I'll send it back to you.
And the home of the brave.
Let's leave it to her.
It'll be before she knows it for Hermina. We wish her great luck. Hey, tomorrow the Tigers will host the Tampa Bay Rays at 1:10 p.m. It is Sunday Kids Day, as always. All kids 14 and under receive a free Jordan Zimmerman growth chart. For tickets, visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. There seems to be so many eye rolls and head snaps back in the direction of home plate umpires lately. Baseball changes, it seems, at a glacial pace sometimes. But there may be a dramatic move soon to adjust the strike zone. The thinking is that it might help pick up the pace of ball games. We'll talk of that next as we continue on this Saturday afternoon. We take you back to Monday night, the first of the homestand, when Brad Ausmus snapped. He let home plate umpire Doug Eddings know in no uncertain terms that he didn't agree with the size and the shape of Eddings' strike zone. You know now the hoodie and the cap gave their all for the dramatic farewell on this evening. And the hoodie is being auctioned off now for charity. And get this, as of this morning, the top bid on MLB.com was $4,630. Whoa! With the proceeds going to the Detroit Tigers Foundation. So, Major League games are up 7 minutes this season from where they were last season. And the commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred, is concerned. Let's talk about that in our Miller Lite breakdown. One idea approved by the competition committee is to eliminate intentional walks in terms of throwing the baseball 4 times to home plate. You can just point and have the guy go down to first base. The other one is more intriguing. It is changing the strike zone, raising it up above the knees, and I guess the intent is to put balls more into play.
Well, I mean, I kind of get what Major League Baseball is trying to do. One, they're trying to speed up games, John, because games were a little bit faster last year when they incorporated a few of the rules and changes. But raising the strike zone, it will help the hitters. There's no doubt about that. The pitchers right now are striking out about 30% of the hitters. I mean, there are power pitchers in the game, and offense is lacking industrially across the board. So I think by doing this, 1, it'll speed up games. 2, it will allow more balls to be put in play. Maybe fans will enjoy the game a little bit more.
All right, let's bring Craig Moreau into the discussion as he joins us now from the Call Sam studios. 8 strikeouts per team per game. Seymour, that's too many.
It's definitely too many, John. But when you start talking about changing the strike zone, we're talking about, I mean, literally, guys, take a look at this. Right now, they're calling it at the below the knees. They're going to change it to go above the top of the knee. That's about a 3-inch difference. Ball's coming in, Rod, 92, 93. As a hitter, to be quite honest with you, I'm not going to be able to tell the difference if it's down or not. One of the things, the point I wanted to make was that I think it benefits the hitters, no question about it. But then the pitcher. I think the biggest challenge is going to be for pitchers because they're so accustomed to pitching down in the strike zone. They're going to now have to leave some balls up over the plate, and they're not going to be that comfortable doing so.
And it would be a great thing to have more games end up 7-6. The other side of that is that games could be longer if they're 7-6, but you're going to have balls put into play on a more regular basis.
There's no doubt about that, John. Balls put in play. I mean, people want the game to be sped up. They're trying to get more kids in the game. And what better way to get more kids in the game than have more offense? I mean, pitching duels are wonderful for us that love the game of baseball and love the way the game's played. But the kids, they want to see home runs. They want to see doubles and triples. But I do have a problem with the 4-pitch walk. I mean, I like the fact that you've got to throw the ball. We've seen guys throw the ball over the catcher's head and run score. So I'm not all that in with the fact that they want to institute where you can just tell somebody to go down to first base like they do in softball.
All right, Max Scherzer had T-shirts made up that said, strikeouts are sexy.
Yeah.
Apparently baseball chooses to defer. Big smiles around the batting cage yesterday as his former Tiger teammates greeted the guy known as Shooter in these parts. Drew Smiley will make his second shot against the Tigers tonight. He was a part of the David Price deal in July of 2014. He's gone 10-7 around a shoulder surgery, but with a sub-3 ERA. Miguel Cabrera doesn't have a hit against him. And we'll talk of Miggy when we come back.
Gear up, Tigers fans. Miller Lite is offering you the chance to gear up for the baseball season. To enter, all you have to do is collect codes and look inside specially marked packages of Miller Lite to find out how to redeem your Tigers gear.
The 1-1. High drive into right field. Ball is hit well. Souza, track, wall, and that ball is gone. A home run for Cabrera. Here's the 2-1 pitch. High, towering fly ball to center field. Kiermaier going back. Track, wall, leaps, and get it, it's gone! Cabrera with a towering home run to center field. Big boy territory.
That was last night. Welcome back. The most homerific seasons in Miguel Cabrera's career came in 2012 and 2013, in which he had 44 bombs in each. On this day, in 2013, Cabrera had 12 homers. He now has 8, so he's in the ballpark, if you will. His average is now up to 308, and he just happens to be a pure hitter who happens to hit some of those out. Perhaps not as regularly as he had been, but it's certainly within him.
But I think it's taken a little time to get all the pieces together. He used to hit with his legs, and then the last couple of years they weren't with him throughout the season, so he had to work and play like he does. Gets in the lineup, not 100%, and gets whatever he can out of the at-bat. And this year, knock on wood, he's healthy. And I think what we've seen over the last 6 or 7 games is an effort of everything's underneath him. His legs are working together with his upper body, and good things happen.
You know, he's probably the best hitter in the game, and he's been that guy for many years. And you know, it's just you just don't know what he's going to do every time he comes to the plate. You know, if he hit a homer, double, you know, had a triple the other day. So, you know, you don't know what you're going to get, but most of the time it's a good result.
Jordan Zimmerman, who gets the ball tomorrow. Miguel Cabrera, 11 for 24 in his last 6 games. That's a .458 average. 2 homers last night. You weren't worried about a lack of power?
Oh, no. I was not worried about Miguel. I had a conversation with Miguel in spring training, and it was early in spring training, and he said basically when the season starts, I'm taking my base hits. They always overshift on Miggy now, which I don't understand. A guy that's won 4 of the last 5 batting titles. He's driving the ball the opposite way, but as Wally Joyner alluded to the fact, he's got his legs underneath him now, and when Miggy has his legs underneath him, he can hit balls 440 feet, and he can carry a baseball team. The one thing we do know, and it's universal, everybody talks about this guy is the best hitter on the planet and has been so for a long time.
And he didn't have his legs really the last 2 years.
No, he did not. I mean, one was the ankle, then it was the hip area, it was the groin area.
Core injury.
He has not been healthy, but Miguel Cabrera, when healthy, he has the sweetest swing in all of baseball, whether it be a right-hander or a left-hander. And this guy's standing 6 feet 5 inches, about 250, John.
All right, Miggy and the Tigers getting set to take on Drew Smiley and the Rays on a Saturday afternoon here at the ballpark. From the ballpark, we'll send it back to the Call Sam studios, back to Kristen and Simo.
All right, thanks, John. What's the #1 thing, Craig, that you're going to be watching for tonight so the Tigers can get back in the win column?
Yes, I'm going to pay close attention to Michael Fulmer today's game. He'll have to do something to slow this offense down. The Rays offense right now, they're clicking on all cylinders. They're hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They seem to be finding holes. He'll have to move the baseball around, change some speeds, and get these guys off balance. Matter of fact, I'd be okay with you not necessarily hitting guys, but just making them uncomfortable. Move their feet a little bit so you can open up the outside part of the plate where you can dominate.
All right, what have you seen from Fulmer so far that you think he can really kind of dominate on, or what his sweet spot is against these guys?
It's the fastball. Fastball command, 96, 97 mile per hour fastball gets on you in a hurry. Location, efficiency is going to be key for him today's game. It's going to be key.
That's all we have time for on this edition of Tigers Live. Be sure to watch the post-game. Rod Allen, this guy, Justin White, we'll all break it down from the Call Sam studio. Kurt Gibson and Dick Engberg have the call. Oh my, don't miss it.
Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss.
There it is.
He
Save that
struck him
ball.
out. Strikeout number 2,000 in the career of Justin Verlander. Hold on to that one. So congratulations to JV.
The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire.
It was 60 seasons ago, my initial eye-popping glimpse of that immaculate green canvas with its strict geometry. Squares, circles, rectangles, pentagons, and lines to infinity. The borders of baseball, a visual masterpiece. The Detroit home to this wondrous generational game, a grandfather, a Mount Clemens grocer at Naven Field cheering Gehringer, to a Macomb County apple farmer father in Briggs Stadium praising Greenberg, to an idolizing son soon to marvel and want to be a K-line. All baseball family, all Tigers true. Defined, but more than that classic Old English D, representing Detroit devotion. So an Armada country boy of dreams magically would someday be the privileged broadcast conduit to all those who each season care so deeply. Today, he makes a full circle, rounding the bases, if you will, in his final at-bat. Touching them all, back home, one last time, to embrace baseball and the beloved Bengals. And after 60 years of broadcasting in this game, a reflection. We go back to those days of youth, to Briggs Stadium, Tiger Stadium, and now to beautiful Comerica Park. It's game 2 of the 3-game weekend series. The Detroit Tigers hosting the Tampa Bay Rays. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm very pleased and honored to be able to sit here today in the broadcast booth to call a game. The Detroit Tigers, going back as a young kid, thinking, would someday I play for the Tigers? That was my dream. My dream has taken me to a terrific place. And today, in the course of this telecast, we are going to do a lot of reminiscing and hopefully wipe away some cobwebs for you as well as we talk about the great Tiger teams and Tiger players. But what's most important is the game itself and the fact that I get to rub shoulders with one of the all-time Tiger greats, Kurt Gibson. Well, I'm Armada High School 1952, Waterford High School 1975. We have a lot in common, not baseball talent, but our love for the Tigers.
Well, and I did get the honor to play in right field at Tiger Stadium. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here with you today, Dick, a Hall of Famer in 2 sports. And that doesn't happen very often. So we're proud to have you. You're a Michigan guy, and we're happy to have you back here in Michigan where you belong.
Well, thank you. Give me 2 or 3 names of the players that you idolized growing up.
Well, I just remember the green seats when I was a kid. I used to go during bat day Obviously loved K-Line, Lolich, Bill Freehand, Gates Brown, and then the character, Norm Cash.
And we're going to talk about all of them during the course of our game today. So we're set to go. First pitch coming up. And we're pleased that we're going to reminisce of Cobb to K-Line to Cabrera, even Pawpaw, Charlie Maxwell, the Sunday thunder that he provided for the Detroit Tigers. Opening pitch coming up.
Michael Fulmer makes his 5th Major League start today, but it's only his first start at Comerica Park. He'll look to control his effective stuff and sting the Rays. Kristen Keith with you from the Call Sam Studios. Miguel Cabrera almost single-handedly won you curly fries yesterday. Here's to hoping his teammates can help finish the job today. If Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs today, bring in a copy of the box score to Arby's tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. You can find the box score in your newspaper or on the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. It's a party from Armada to Zilwaukee today as Michigan's native son comes home. The watch party is in full swing as Dick Engberg will call the game tonight with Kurt Gibson. We'll be on the edge of our seats in the Call Sam Studios waiting for the first oh my. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Perfect baseball Saturday afternoon in the Motor City as the Tigers take the field. Michael Fulmer, the 23-year-old from Edmond, Oklahoma, will be on the mound looking for his 3rd win of the season. And here's the starting lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Brandon Geyer will lead it off, a tick under 300. Then it's Brad Miller, the all-star third baseman Evan Longoria. Steve Pearce homered last night, the cleanup man. DH Corey Dickerson over from the Colorado Rockies. Steven Souza, he led off the game last night with a home run. Logan Morrison at first base. Kevin Kiermaier's 3-run triple broke a 3-3 try and led to the 7-5 win last night. Today's Tigers starting pitcher is Michael Fulmer, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Yeah, Michael going through his 5th start. Out of his first 4 starts, has 3 wins for the Tiger team. That's his main focus when he goes out there, so he says. Good 4-seamer, good 2-seamer. There are different pitches for sure. The change is work in progress, but the slider is the knockout pitch now.
The 1-0 pitch fouled off to the left side by Brandon Geyer, who comes into the game hitting .299 with 4 home runs. 30-year-old from the University of Virginia. He'll be followed by Miller and Longoria here in the top of the 1st inning. Checks on his swing and does not go, says first base umpire Paul Nart.
Tigers have struggled a bit here in the 1st inning. Michael Fulmer was one, Anibal Sanchez another, so that'll be a point of focus today. Get through this 1st inning quickly and get settled in and find your rhythm.
Rip past 3rd and down into the left field corner, and Geyer spins around first on his way to 2nd with a sliding double, and that's how the Rays opened last night, only more dramatically with the home run by Souza. It's a hot Tampa Bay team coming into Detroit for this weekend series. They blew apart the Blue Jays up in Toronto. Not many teams do that, and they continued last night.
Yeah, it's just a little 2-seamer. Balls gets too much to the plate, and looks like Geyer's cheating a little bit to get that head out just inside the bag. Castellanos playing off the bag. It goes for a stand-up double.
Rays with the 4 consecutive wins. That's their longest of the season. Brings up Brad Miller, 26-year-old shortstop. He slaps it foul.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday, Dick. The Rays used to be a very patient team, believed in working the pitch count. They've reversed their philosophy. Derek Shelton, their hitting coach, they're very aggressive early and often in the count now. It's paid off well since they've done that. Tigers will have to make good quality pitches to get them under control.
Infield with the man at 2nd, not using the shift on Miller. Low and inside. He's 26 from Clemson University, acquired by the Rays from the Seattle Mariners in the offseason. He played there in the Great Northwest for 3 years. Occasionally he'll get into one. Has 5 home runs this year.
Can run a little bit as well.
Sends it high in the air to right center. Cameron Maben circles under it, tagging at second and racing toward third. The throw comes in and it won't be in time. And Geyer moves up into 90 feet from scoring on the fly ball by Miller.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defense, brought to you by Beaumont Health. Out here in the outfield, Jay up and left, Cameron Maben you just saw right there in center, J.D. Martinez in right, Nick Castellanos at third, Iglesias and Kinsler up the middle, Miguel Cabrera at first. James McCann will be receiving from Michael Fulmer today.
And that brings up Evan Longoria, the outstanding third baseman for the Rays. His average down a bit at this point in the season at 258, but 7 home runs. He's now 30. Played his college ball at Cal State Long Beach. Infield in at the edge of the grass. They'll try to cut down the run at the plate. Longoria swings and misses.
The Tigers generally a pretty aggressive team early in the game. One of the thoughts is to go ahead and concede the run early. Tigers do not do that. Bringing him in tight, trying to cut down Geyer at home plate with Longoria trying to get him in.
Outfield deep and swung around to the pull side.
I think one of the things for a young pitcher right now, you get a guy in third, you're really focused on trying not to let him score. Maybe sometimes you overthrow a little bit. So one of the things you have to learn to be a good professional over time. Stay within yourself, do what you can do, and don't try and manufacture any more than that.
High heat, and Longoria couldn't find it.
Yeah, pretty good job right here. They're trying to stay at the top of the zone for Longoria. They've probably got numbers on that. You can see it's by him. If Longoria doesn't lay off those, they're going to stay up there all game.
On out, runner at third. High again.
It's kind of a fine line up there. If you get too high, they're going to take it all the way. If you just get it about the top of the zone or just a bit above it, that's the one that entices the swing, and very hard for any hitter to get on top of that pitch at 97.
Check swing, and the slider's outside.
How do you lay off that? All fastballs up to that point. Lays off the slider.
Brad Ausmus, like his counterpart Kevin Cash, a big league catcher in his playing days. Full count. In there, strike 3. Longoria takes the long walk, 2 away. The infield will move back, and Steve Pearce, the second baseman, steps up.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. You just saw it. Michael Fulmer went to town, man on third, and Geyer only one down. They got the infield in, pumping him up high, and then he goes to the slider, doubles it up. Longoria down, caught looking. What would Ernie say there?
Standing by the side of the road.
Stood there like standing by the side of the road, like the house standing by the side of the road.
Thank you for reminding us. That wonderful voice of Ernie Harwell resonates in all our baseball souls. Pearce hitting a solid .302 with 7 home runs, the former Baltimore Oriole. Tied for the club lead in runs batted in with 18. First trip, Kurt, to Comerica Park, a beautiful ball yard. I should say ballpark, because my father made that very clear to me as a young boy when I first visited Briggs Stadium. Before he let me see the field itself, he reminded me it's not just a stadium or an arena. You're going to go into a ballpark, a park in the middle of the city of Detroit.
Well, the last park here in Tiger Stadium was surrounded you all the way, and much open here. You see the skylines. People can walk all the way around the stadium in full view. Kind of a laid back, a little more relaxed, but it erupts. We had that happen the other night. I think Wednesday night it was. Pretty exciting.
Of course, there on the wall, the testimony to the Tiger greats. We'll be talking about them. And there's Ernie's signature outside. And the count goes 3-1 to Pearce. The Rays start today at 20-19. They're 4.5 out of first place. So Baltimore in the top spot in the East. The Tigers trail the White Sox by 5.5 as we begin play today. It's too low, and a walk to Pierce. So runners at the corners now for the Rays with 2 outs, and the designated hitter Corey Dickerson comes up.
Now Fulmer gets Longoria, the previous hitter, walks Steve Pierce there, and now into Corey Dickerson, and lefties hit a little higher clip against Fulmer, so it creates a little bit of a matchup.
You know, Dickerson has struggled, but he's getting his swing back in form here of late, raising his average up to 188 by having a decent couple of weeks. He's a .299 career hitter with the Rockies.
Yeah, he's a good hitter. I was telling the audience yesterday, I watched him get a base hit on hitting the ball off the bounce.
The cricket shot. Swing and a foul tip.
And he also punched one down that third base line yesterday, but see if the Tigers make a little adjustment. He's got very good bat control, runs decently.
McCann out to talk with his pitcher.
Maybe he got crossed up there or something.
2 outs. Geyer at third, Pierce at first for Tampa Bay. Dickerson along with Longoria and Souza, they all share the RBI lead with 18. Off the corner, 1-1.
We got a tight zone early in the game.
Ron Kolpa calling the balls and strikes.
Is running off. You can see by Fox Tracks. It confirms it. Spray's team looking middle.
Fouled at the plate. Well, you've watched a lot of baseball, Gibby, and you've analyzed not only as a player but umpires. Has the umpiring in the game changed in your career?
Well, I think everything evolves a bit, but I think it's still the same game. They bust their tails back there just like you're grinding it out up here, and players on the field. And we get on each other occasionally, but overall I think they do a pretty good job. They've got a tough job. We got slow motion, right?
And
they don't have that.
Freeze frames. They don't have all of that in calling plays at the bases. It's a game of mistakes, and it's a game of errors. Swing and a miss. A high fastball gets Dickerson swinging, and that's it for the Rays. They leave 2. Here come the Tigers, bottom of the first, with Ian Kinsler leading it off.
Rays Tigers, Sunday at 12 on Fox Sports Detroit.
Welcome back. A little tribute to Dick Engberg right here. So here's the Tigers batting order presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Leading off, Ian Kinsler, J.D. Martinez, Miggy at third, Victor cleanup at the number 4 spot, Nick Castellanos, Justin Upton, Cameron Maven this season 4 games, 8 for 13 with an RBI, 2 walks and 4 steals. James McCann looking to get on track, and Jose Iglesias at shortstop.
Against the left-hander, Drew Smiley, familiar name and form for Tiger fans as he was brought up through the Detroit Tiger organization. Had that great relief year a couple years ago, went 6-0. His first pitch is in for a strike to Ian Kinsler. Checks in at 316 today and leading the club in home runs with 10. He hit only 11 all last year.
Yeah, he's off to a great start this year. Very smart player and great preparation, and it's certainly going on for him on the diamond. Great leadership.
Leads the club in runs scored and hits at this point. Foul tip. 1-2.
You know, you look at the way this Tiger offense is constructed. You got Kinsler at the top setting the plate, but you have Maben, McCann, Iglesias at the bottom, and Kinsler being so productive, it's good to have those guys on base as well, and that's where you're seeing a lot of his RBIs being picked up.
And he's been tough against left-handed pitching. In fact, he has the second best average in the American League, 429 against southpaws, second only to Francisco Lindor, who's at 429. Fouls it back, and in fact, J.D. Martinez on deck. He also has been outstanding against left-handed pitching. He's 4th best in the American League at .345.
Tigers 1-6, however, so far this year versus lefties. So a good day to get on track. Generally, the lefties are pounding the righties in, cutters in, fastballs in.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Smiley with his first strikeout. He's a strikeout pitcher, more than a strikeout per inning so far this year.
Take a look at Drew Smiley's numbers. 2-4 record. .344. Look at that whip. Doesn't walk anybody at all. 58 strikeouts, so only 12 walks. Opponent's only hitting .207 off of him.
So would you say 1.00 whip would be the 300 batting average in terms of a pitcher not giving the other team many opportunities to score?
I mean the threshold of really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Right about there. I mean 1.5 is you don't want to be above it.
But if you're under 1, you're doing your job.
You're very good.
J.D. 256 on the season with 8 homers.
Mr. Engberg's dropping some metrics on me.
2 hopper to the shortstop. Miller fires across for the out. 2 away, and that'll bring up Miggy Cabrera.
Let's take a look at the starting defense brought to you by Tim Hortons of the Tampa Bay Rays. Brandon Geyer left. Kevin Kiermaier, the Defensive Player of the Year last year, in center. Steven Souza Jr. in right. Longoria, Miller, Pierce, and Morrison across the infield. Kurt Casale will be catching Drew Smiley today for the Rays.
And here's Miggy Cabrera. He hit a couple of home runs last night, and one was a monster. Straightaway center field. The other to right field. That one slicing into the right field corner. Playable, and the catch made by Souza going into foul territory. So the Tigers go in order in the first. No score in Detroit.
Top second, no score, and we're joined today by Hall of Fame announcer Dick Engberg. Received a very nice ovation and some recognition. Done the Olympics, NFL, NCAA basketball, golf, Wimbledon, French Open, and you're from Michigan.
Yeah.
Back where you belong, and many people don't know. You've done a game before. Didn't you fill in for Al Kaline way back when?
That was in Anaheim when I was doing the Angel games, and Al was asked if he could be off for a Sunday as we start the second inning. Steven Souza leads it off for the Rays, no score. And I had always kidded about the fact that I was 18, Al Kaline 18, and Al Kaline came out of the Baltimore High School to play right field for the Tigers without ever going to the minor leagues. And I said that was going to be my spot. That was my dream spot. That Kaline took my place.
Well, you still had the dream, though, right?
Yeah. Well, then finally we get the call. Mr. Autry, the owner of the Angels, said, "Would you like to do a game Sunday instead of the Angel game? Do the Tiger game on TV back to Michigan." Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouled away. And I said, oh, I would love to do that. And so I was finally able to come on the air and welcome the Detroit Tiger fans to telecast and said, I am so excited today. I've waited all these years to finally replace Al Kaline.
Well, we're going to get a chance in the 4th inning today to spend some time with Mr. Kaline.
Oh, great. Mr. Tiger, how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of old people now grew up rooting for Al Kaline, saying he's the man. He is what Detroit Tiger baseball is all about. Swing and a miss, and down goes Souza, and Fulmer has his strikeout pitch going early. That's 3 punch outs already.
Yeah, pretty dominating stuff. It's coming out of his arm very live right now, and working the top of the strike zone earlier in the count. And there you see the splitter. Ball going down, disappear.
Brings up Logan Morrison, and here's the first employment of the shift by the Tigers, with Castellanos moving from third out into shallow right field. Morrison takes a strike.
No, I haven't watched Fulmer live yet, and today I called that a splitter, but that was a change-up grip right there. Good downward action. Souza couldn't see it as well.
Rips that one foul, just out of the reach of Cabrera, leaning into foul territory. Morrison last night sent a solid single to right field and knocked in the third run in the first inning as the Rays took an early 3-0 lead. He grounded out and then walked twice.
Tigers did battle back, couldn't get on top though. Did have the go-ahead run to the plate. That was Victor Martinez. Unfortunately, grounded out to end the game.
Way inside with a breaking ball.
You know, you compare these two pitchers, Smiley and Fulmer, both great stuff, little different stuff. Fulmer's more overpowering with a heavy sinker as well. I was reading about Drew Smiley. He says he knows how to get hitters out now, okay? He knows how to use his stuff. Michael Fulmer still kind of feeling that process out, but Smiley says it's just a matter of execution. Of course, that goes for everybody on the field.
But the word you hear over and over again, Gibby, is command. He's got great stuff, but can he command it?
That makes the difference.
Swing and a miss at the off speed. And another strikeout. That's 3 in a row for Fulmer, and 4 out of the 5 outs recorded so far as we check today's field conditions, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 69 degrees, a Michigan beauty for baseball.
It's going to be a fast track later.
And the wind at times blowing significantly from the left field corner toward right. 2 outs, and Kevin Kiermaier, the hitter. The key blow last night, bases loaded, game tied 3-all in the 6th inning, and he ripped one into the right field corner and cleared the bases.
Off of Kyle Ryan. Kyle Ryan has been exceptional on inherited runners.
Hits this one high and fairly deep to center. Cruising back is Maben. He squeezes the final out. 1-2-3 go the Rays in the second. Here come the Tigers. No score. Well, my memories take me back to the games I watched at Briggs Stadium. Hank Greenberg and company. Great history there. Al Kaline broke in at Briggs Stadium, then became Tiger Stadium. It only changed names. Walter O. Briggs was the owner of the Tigers for several decades and named the stadium after him, and then Tiger Stadium. And the magic of Tiger Stadium was that it was the only major league ballpark that was double-decked all the way around. As we go to the bottom of the second, Victor Martinez hitting cleanup and batting a solid .333 here in the first month and a half.
Yeah, Victor usually really gets after the left-handers. This year it hasn't been as good as it has in the past, but the good news is he's really hammering the ball from the other side of the plate as well.
5-time All-Star, playing like he wants to go to Petco Park in San Diego in July as a member of the American League All-Star team again. High pop-up, left side, third baseman Longoria right at the bag. One away.
Now this stadium in the outfield has to remind you of Petco Park a little bit out there in center field, but now they brought that in even more this year, haven't they?
Yeah, to about 397, 395, and right field even. They've lowered the fence in right field into the bleachers so that outfielders can go up over an 8-foot wall to make that spectacular catch. Briggs Stadium, I recall while working the Angel games, we're sitting in the dugout before a game there in the first base side, and Rocky Bridges, the storied character, baseball character, was the Angel coach, and he said, you know, and we're just looking out at the field, I think that it should be mandatory that anyone who comes up from the minor leagues to the big leagues for the first time has to go to Detroit first, because this immediately you look up and you see stands double deck all the way around. This is the big leagues.
I would agree. It was challenging for sure. It added different challenges. As you said, it was enclosed all the way around and went way high. I mean, it wasn't just a short double decker. It went way high, and it was an interesting look to try and pick the ball up as a defender.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. Is Castellanos hitting .340. That's still second best in the American League hitting race, second to Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros. Takes high, 3-1. 30 runs driven in by Nick to lead the club. He's only 24. I figured him to be a bit older. He's had a nice little career already. He's got some future, doesn't he?
Yes, he's on the way up. There you can see the AL leaders
way outside and high.
That guy on top, Altuve, boy, have you ever had a chance to watch him?
Is he a hitting machine?
Oh, he is. Not very tall, but so he packs a big punch.
I mean, he hits the sweet spot time after time.
He does.
Ground ball sharply, but backhanded by Miller. Regrips and throws him out. 2 away. So you're playing right field with that overhang in Detroit. I don't, they said it was 325 down the line. Was it really 325?
Well, so they say. It looks shorter, but the overhang came over 10 feet, I believe. So when you could actually go back to the wall,
right,
and lose the ball.
The ball would be up
above the overhang. And actually, I lost one on opening day. I think it was in 1982, and it came down and bounced off my shoulder. So I picked it up and threw it like it was a hot potato into Lou Whitaker.
Justin Upton, former Padre. We had a chance to follow him with the Padres the last couple of years, and I know fans are disappointed he's off to a slow start at 228. Couple of home runs. He strikes out a lot. He will do that. But I'm telling you right now, when he gets in a groove, you're going to really be happy that he's playing left field for the Tigers. He's got almost Cabrera power, and I think he's better than average left fielder as well.
Yeah,
and a good guy.
I would agree. He's a great kid. He's grown up a lot. Now, we had him in 2007 in Arizona when he was a rookie. So just to see the change in the maturity that J-Up has progressed with. And he's had a good attitude through all this, but nobody cares more than Justin Upton about what's going on with this ball club, and he tends to wear it himself, but much better at getting through it. Like you say, he's going to get on a tear here soon.
He goes down swinging here. That'll be the end of the second for the Tigers. 6 up, 6 down for Drew Smiley.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Empty accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers.
So Briggs Stadium, well, it's Navin Field, then Briggs Stadium on the same site, Michigan and Trumbull, and then Tiger Stadium. Whitaker to Trammell, and how about Mark the Bird Fidrich? And who's this guy clubbing one into the upper deck in right field? Touch them all. Oh, who was that? You break his wrist with that high five.
Yeah, that was my draft mate, actually. Marty Castile came up same year, was drafted the same year as I was, and was on the 84 team.
First pitch swinging is Kurt Casale, and the catcher of the Rays skies that one to Upton's glove and left.
Like to see those early outs. Fulmer 33 coming into the inning, over 2 innings, so a bit over what you'd like to see. So the quick early outs are welcome by the youngster.
So that goes to the top of the order, and Brandon Geyer, who doubled past third to open the ball game, but died at third as Fulmer pitched out of trouble. So in that right field, because of, Ted Williams was my idol, and the fact that he could just ridiculously take apart the upper deck, if not the roof of Old Briggs Stadium. That you as an outfielder bunted in the air, going to be a tough play. It kicks foul. That you actually, the overhang would, if you dropped a line from the first row, it would land on the top of the warning track.
It might land on the grass, but it was about in that same area, and like I said, you could lose the ball. It's something you had to learn to stay out from the wall a little bit. And by the way, the padding on the walls was minimal. One time I was playing center field, I ran into the wall there, and it was cement, and the upper part was cast iron. It didn't move. I can attest to that. So got a little smarter about that. You think you're invincible, but you find out quickly that's not the case.
And whether the melon hits the wall or the wall hits the melon, it's not good for the melon. All right, let's send it to Justin White for a game break.
Dick, this game break is brought to you by Dodge, and there's quite the party going on at the Armada Lions Hall as the Armada Education Foundation is hosting a watch party to celebrate the return of their native son, Dick Engberg. I got to sit next to Dick in the press box last night. Dick, it was a real treat, I got to tell you.
Thank you, Justin. The food must be free or there wouldn't be anyone there. But great to tip the cap to all my friends. And there's another slap past third. That's Brad Miller this time using the Brandon Geyer approach, and he has a double with 2 outs here in the third. So hello Armada, the Armada Tigers, the orange and black Tigers up 40 miles north.
Well, here's Brad Miller. Look at the shift is on. You can see Castellanos right over here. Just slaps it down to the open field. And he's definitely going against the shift there. It's a 2-seamer. It's running away. He just uses the pitch, goes with the flow. 2-out double.
Brings up Longoria. Took a third strike his first time. No score. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Rays threaten. Strike. Well, the shift is certainly a popular topic of discussion around baseball. Some think it's terrific. There are some old timers traditionally that feel that it's taking too much offense out of the game. Fans want runs scored, and it's muting the offense of those power hitters that decide they're not going to give in to the shift. Now Miller there was able to poke the ball the other way, but you get those cleanup guys and the men in the lineup that are hitting 20 or more home runs, they refuse to give in.
Yeah, well, you'd welcome them to just take a single or a double. But I think Miller right there, if you're a hitter, you just wait for a ball away and you just tell yourself early in the count, if it's away, I'm just going to slap it that way. Now, when you get 2 strikes, you have to take a different approach. The batting average is 25 or 30 points lower against the shift on average throughout Major League Baseball. So, you know, should it be outlawed? I don't know whether I'd agree with that. I mean,
how about if you just say 2 men have to be on each side of second base? Now you can put the shortstop or second baseman right on second almost, but just to limit how drastic the shift could be.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one argument. It doesn't bother me. I think put guys wherever you want. You're entitled to 8 guys in fair territory, or actually, yeah, 8 guys in fair territory and 1 in foul, right? And that's only the catcher. Yeah. So the language would have to be changed, and I guess what do they call them? Old-fashioned?
Well,
maybe I'm a little old-fashioned with that.
I'm in that club, and traditionally.
Well, I'm happy to be there with you.
Yeah, the sabermetrics don't lie, and more it's being employed, and it is impacting the game. It's impacting the offense. It works.
And I've always said it's up to the hitters to make them switch.
Exactly. But how many do or are capable? You know, it's a lot of things have changed in our years, and my limited talent, the worst thing you could do as a ball player is strike out. I mean, that was just embarrassing. Today it's who cares? I'd rather strike out than walk, it seems, is a philosophy of some of the players. Well, 0 and away. Now that old walk is as good as a hit, and you're in a tie game late in the game. That should apply at the major league level as well.
Yeah, well, I think that strikeouts are maybe you're given a break on it if you have power. There's a big emphasis on slug. You get guys on base in front of you and you hit the ball with power. You drive guys in. That works well.
And Longoria victimized again by the stuff of Michael Fulmer. He struck out with a man on third the first time, and he takes the long walk after striking out here in the third. Middle of the third, no score. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. By Dodge. Come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover event. And by the Michigan Lottery. Play the new Big League Raffle from the Michigan Lottery to win cash and baseball prizes. To the last of the third, Cameron Maben, James McCann, and Jose Iglesias to face Smiley, who sends that one all the way to the screen. That's ball 2, 2-0.
Trying to get the Ephus pitch over.
Well, so pleased to see Cameron Maben back from that disastrous injury. You start spring training, you get hit right away, and you're on the DL with a broken wrist. And he has been producing, fans. 3 more hits last night. He's 8 for 13. off the DL, and he's stolen a base in each of the last 4 games. And he hits that one deep to left field. It's way back. Geyer goes back and touch 'em all. That's the way to continue a hitting streak. Maben solo shot. It's 1-0 Detroit.
Yeah, he took the stolen base out of that at bat right there. Up in the count. Gets the ball right down the middle of the plate and doesn't miss it. Good extension. You want to get your arms out. Eyes on the ball. Good time to jog around the bases. Good sound, huh?
Oh, you can tell. You can blindfold a baseball man like you, and you know when it's got a chance. Maben's first home run of the season, and the Tigers' first hit today.
Well, we're talking earlier about different stadiums and the sounds of the game, and etc. And of course, the bat is something that I always listen to. But as a child, I remember listening to the Tigers on the radio, and Ernie Harwell, and George Callanal on the TV, and also Paul Carey, who just passed with us. And when they laid out, there's one thing that I don't hear anymore: the popping of the cups. Do you remember that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the beer cups and soda cups.
Because when you were a little kid and you came to the park at night, you always went and you ran down the cups.
Fly ball to right. That's hit pretty well. To the wall, and to make the catch is Souza. McCann flirts with extra bases. 1 away. Yeah, for fans that I don't know why today there still are paper cups, but as a kid you collected those paper cups and you kept them by your seat, and whenever someone hit a home run, you take your knee up and slam down your heel on the cup and make that loud popping sound.
Well, we'll have to start a movement, I guess. Get it back in play.
Paper cup company might sponsor us. See, a little tougher to make that one pop with that plastic top.
By the way, James McCann on the flyout, he's swinging the bat much better. Not a lot to show for it, but you see him coming out of it, hitting the ball much more solid recently in the last couple games.
Iglesias pulls the bat back, but here's the strike call. 0-2. After a solid 300 season last year, this native of Havana, Cuba. This one shallow behind second, angling out and coming in is Souza to make the catch and avoiding a possible collision for the second out.
The Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher versus batter matchup. Kinsler has the Bernstein advantage. Ian Kinsler 4 for 11 off Drew Smiley, a home run and an RBI. This year he's had pretty good numbers against everybody. Uh-oh, here comes another. I got to get out of here. There's another Hall of Famer in here.
He struck out the first time, did Kinsler. Off speed, drops low. So Cameron Maben's leadoff home run here in the 3rd inning gives the Tigers a 1-0 lead. Daddy Longlegs, we called him in San Diego when he was playing outfield for the Padres. There's nothing when Maben hits a potential triple, and I know Comerica is a triples ballpark. You're going to love the way he runs. Daddy Longlegs. He can really pick those babies up and down.
Doesn't look like he's running that fast, but he is. He's covering a lot of ground with those long strides.
2 balls and a strike to Kinsler. Lifted foul, out of play. Although Souza gives it a good run for it. Well, the great Mr. Tiger Al Kaline will join us in the next inning. Honored to be able to see Al again. How old was he? 20 when he won the American League batting title?
19.
In comes a left fielder and a diving catch by Brandon Geyer. No, he didn't come up with it. Kinsler with a base hit. Great effort by Geyer. Couldn't quite get that glove between the grass and the ball.
Yep, just off the end of the glove right there. You want to try and get the ball out to your side when you're diving like that, as Mr. Kaline taught me many years ago. That's a tough one. You want to lay out, but you also want to keep it in front of you, which he did a pretty good job at. But Ian's on base here with a couple outs. See if he doesn't think about running.
It extends Kinsler's hitting streak now to 9 consecutive games. J.D. Martinez bounced out to short his first time. Kinsler has 3 steals. Smiley, does he have a decent move or not? That certainly wasn't his best move.
No, he's pretty good at keeping the hitters at bay, switching it up. 1 stolen base, has caught 2.
Good block by catcher Casali.
Little quick pitch right there, slide step. You see the good guys when you go look at their numbers, whether they've given up a lot of stolen bases. Many of them, I'd say the #1 component is if they hold the ball and then they switch their cadence up, so to say. Because those first base coaches and those base runners, they'll count you down, and they find you repeating something, they'll take advantage of it.
Foul tip. 1-2. Outfield at doubles defense depth, or is that how the outfielders play here at Comerica? They're very deep.
Tampa has played very deep this series. I believe they're trying to cut down the extra base hit. They're willing to concede the single. But they did the same thing last night, especially with 2 outs, because they figure they want to see 2 base hits to score that run. They don't want to play in shallower and open up a double or a triple and allow Kinsler to score with 2 outs.
Kinsler with his lead. And he goes. Foul back. Good cut by Martinez.
Casali throws decent, 4 for 12 caught stealing, 33%.
A ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Run home here for the Tigers. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. But Cameron Maben's first home run of the 2016 season has given the Tigers a 1-0 lead. And here's a man who could find the seats 399 times in his great Hall of Fame career. Al Kaline will join us when we come back to Comerica Park.
Sunday, May 22nd, the Tigers finish up their series with the Rays. It's Chevy Youth Baseball Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under get a free Jordan Zimmerman growth chart, courtesy of Aquafina. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Tuesday, May 24th, the Tigers face the Phillies at 7:10 p.m. The first 10,000 fans 21 and over receive a patriotic hat, courtesy of Miller Lite. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com today.
Welcome back with Al Kaline. This is Dick Engberg and Kurt Gibson. Comerica Park. We're going to the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 Tigers on Maben's home run, and swinging at the first pitch again, and a high fly ball to center field off the bat of Steve Pierce. 1 away. Well, Al, thank you for joining us. It's just great to see you. Your name comes up, and if you're a Michigander, it's like talking to the king, the baseball king.
Oh, well, thanks very much, Dick, and it's great to see you, and congratulations to you for the Hall of Fame. And I know when we get together up at Cooperstown this year, you'll be much more relaxed, and we'll have some fun.
Yeah, that one, don't have to worry about the speech. You don't have to worry about all the family and all the accommodations. You don't mind if I come down into the tavern down there in the hotel and just hang around and listen?
No, we will welcome you with open arms.
That was, people have asked me about that weekend, and there's no exaggeration. exaggeration. It was the greatest weekend of my life. It was just, everything was perfect.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was. I don't normally get nervous, but the speech, high fly ball foul. No, that's going to go out to the left fielder Upton. That carried a long way, didn't it, off the bat at Dickerson?
You know, this ball club here, they take less pitches than anybody else. They swing at the first fastball they see. And they are definitely hunting a fastball all the way.
Was that your philosophy?
Well, it depends on who's pitching and situation in the game. And, you know, you have to give the pitcher some credit. At least I did. I tried to give the pitcher credit that he's going to try to work to my weakness. And I always thought my weakness was a low and away breaking ball slider. So if there was a man in scoring position, I anticipated.
Ground ball is short off the bat of Souza. Easy play and an easy inning for Michael Fulmer. Can you stay another inning?
I'll stay another one with you, Dick, anytime.
All right, I'll take you to dinner. Al Kaline joining us here at Comerica today. Number 6, the right fielder of the Tigers, a longtime hero. 1 home run shy of 400 in his fabulous career. A 3,000 hit performer. Played the game the right way, and to this day, I'm still looking for a right-handed batter with a better swing than Al Kaline. Well, smooth it was. They're one pretty close, though, Al. That Buster Posey in San Francisco has got a beautiful swing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had fortunate enough to be able to watch him a couple of times on TV, and he seems like a great guy, too.
He is a fine young man, yep.
So he got 3 world championships already, and they're on the odd year again, so...
2010, 2012, 2014. They think this is their year, the even year.
Yeah. Out of all the big hits that you had in your career, and some of them that we just watched.
Drive into the left field corner.
Foul.
And it hooks foul.
What one stands out is imprinted in your memory, the biggest, is one of the biggest moments?
Wow, it's hard. Well, getting a base hit in the World Series put us ahead. Certainly, it wasn't one of my hardest hit balls, but I battled the reliever, Joe Horner, fouled off about 5 or 6 pitches, and finally got a base hit to right field to put us ahead, and we stayed ahead the rest of the way.
That was 68 in St. Louis. Was that Game 7?
Actually, it was in Detroit.
It was in Detroit, okay.
We won that game, and then we went on to win the other ones, too. So it wasn't the hardest hit ball, but 2 strikes. I didn't want to strike out because back in our day it was embarrassing to strike out.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
So I wanted to put the ball in play, and hopefully, and it did. It found a hole in right field.
And Jim Northrup in Game 7 drove that Gibson pitch over the center fielder with Kurt Flood's head.
Kurt Flood slipped a little bit and hit it hard. Jim Northrup really did a terrific job filling him for me when I had got hit by a pitch and fractured my wrist. Jim was the 4th outfielder on our club, and he had a chance to play regularly, and he did a wonderful job. He did an outstanding job getting a chance to play 4 weeks in a row, and because when I came back,
Cabrera fouls that away.
Willie got hurt, so I had to go back out in the outfield.
Okay.
And he went to left field. Of course, Stanley was in center field, and
well, that was a bold move, wasn't it? That moved Stanley from shortstop to center field.
I've never heard of a move like that before in the history of baseball. Moving an outfielder in to play infield. I heard about moving infielders out to play outfield. But Mickey Stanley was always our best athlete. He took infield practice every day. He didn't want to play. He didn't like taking outfield practice because he was so good. He took infield practice at shortstop just about every day.
Cabrera hit a long bomb last night to straightaway center field. And one to right field earlier in the game, a 2-run shot.
I was telling Dick earlier, the last game in Tiger Stadium, I had the honor of going out to right field with you and Jim Northrup. Because the 3 of us were out there. And that was pretty awesome atmosphere, huh?
Wasn't that a special night? That was special, boy. Bring back all those players, and we patrolled out from center field to our position where we played.
Yeah, Cabrera wearing out Smiley here. That's 5 foul balls in a row.
I somehow ended up on the ground there. I did some type of slide. And of course, I'm sure you saved your uniform from that night, didn't you?
I have it. Yes, I do.
And I got mine with the grass stains on it, and instead of taking the actual grass, like many did.
In the dirt, and the count runs full.
You were talking earlier about how Kinsler and J.D. Martinez pound the lefties. Miguel Cabrera only hitting 172 so far this year. You wouldn't believe it, would you? But he looks like a different hitter as of late.
Yeah, he's got his timing back, and we haven't done well against left-handers all year.
Ripped on one hop, almost handcuffed the third baseman Longoria, but he takes care of business for the first out here in the fourth.
Pretty good at bat, fouls several pitches off, gets the 3-2 count. This the play they used to call get the married guys off the infield. This is a bullet. Kind of catches Longoria easily over to first, but Miggy keeps swinging the bat like that. Al, you're going to see some more walks. They're going to put it on Victor, aren't they?
I think so, and well, everybody knows that, and at least I know that Cabrera is the best hitter I've ever seen in the Tigers before. Ever.
Well, many around baseball feel that certainly in this generation he's the best hitter in the game.
And he plays in a ballpark that is not very good, very kind to him, because he hits a lot of balls straight away center field, right center field, and this is a very big ballpark.
So what is it out to the corners? 420 straightaway center. What is it to the corners there where it angles out to meet the bleachers?
I would say about 430, 435, something like that.
So his home run last night had to be at least 450.
Oh, it was. He wasn't kind to the park last night.
That was into the television box, into the front row of the box out there at straightaway center field. Now, I did the Padre games. They're the worst hitting team in baseball. I don't hear sounds like that. The sound alone, I knew what was going to happen. That ball was Ruthian. High and deep.
Yeah, it'll keep you up. It'll keep you awake, those sounds.
We'll get a sense, in case you weren't with a telecast on Fox Sports Detroit last night. Here it is. Oh. I mean, Kiermaier, I don't know where. He's not Superman. You're not going to leap that high. That was another 25 feet beyond him. That was an oh my home run. Count runs to 3-1 on Victor. Popped to third his first time.
Looks like Smiley using that soft stuff down. He's thrown the high fastball off of that. Tigers have been chasing a little bit up and out of the zone.
That's outside. Ball 4. The first walk given up by Smiley. One out. Castellanos comes up. Your 3,000th hit, that had to be a special one. What was it?
It was a great thrill. Dave McNally pitching against me, and I've always hit Dave pretty well, and well, most left-handers I hit pretty well. And he threw me a little sinking fastball away, and I hit a double down the right field line. So
was that here or
it was in Baltimore?
So in your hometown?
Hometown, yeah. I had asked our general manager if he wanted me to wait to come back to Detroit to get it, because expected maybe a big crowd. He says, no, you go get it as soon as you can, and fortunately it was my hometown.
Oh, just happened to have in the library. There's the swing, and Kaline's 3,000th. He's still like a young puppy the way you're running those bases.
Gliding around those stacks.
Smooth. Well, having now lived in San Diego for half my adult life after leaving Michigan, that ball hit well, but too high, and cruising in under it is Kiermaier. Puts away the second out. To be able to know and watch first as a fan and know and then work as a colleague before he passed, Tony Gwynn. What a special man.
What a special guy. And one of the greatest hitters of all time.
People don't realize that in the National League there are only 2 hitters that won 8 batting titles, Honus Wagner and Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, certainly he didn't have a lot of power, although he could have been a power hitter, but he was just such a great hitter, and what a super young man.
Yeah, that 5.5 hole, he'd just wear it out.
Well, he had the ability really to look at where the holes were, and he had that kind of bat control.
And he was the type of hitter that wasn't afraid to get 2 strikes on it. He knew that he could still handle the ball and put the ball in play, and A lot of hitters today are very anxious, and they see a fastball and they will swing at it no matter where it's at.
Justin Upton struck out the first time. Takes that one away, 2-0.
Justin has a hard time seeing the pitch away. And I would hope that the hitting instructor, Wally Jones, would tell him to do two things. You either have to go move closer to the plate or you're going to have to bend over at the plate a little bit. See that outside pitch.
There it is. 2-1.
Tampa's got the same scouting report that Mr. Kaline just gave.
No,
you know, I've seen him hit the pitch. I think he does stand a little bit off the plate more than normal. So we'll see. You know, they work so hard and try so many things. Hopefully it'll click.
The action pitch, 2-1. Fouls it back.
And the other thing, Gibby, is that from my watching the game is that probably 75% of the pitchers are thrown on the outside part of the plate.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, they bring the stat exit velocity into the game, and down and away and up and in are the least exit velocities of all the 9 quadrants around the plate. That's something I'm going to try and get to you guys on the air here, by the way, in the near future. Build it so it's simple to see.
Inside.
And that's why they're throwing there. Well, years ago when they give you the pitch 4 inches off the plate, it really made sense.
Well, and the way the game is called today by the umpires, and compared to your day, hey, they came inside on you. You know, it wasn't just this far in, and let's got to have an argument about, hey, don't pitch me that close.
No, the pitchers are afraid to throw inside on. It's a much more friendly game than it used to be.
That ball's hit well, deep center field, back to the wall, Kiermaier, and it is a big ballpark. That was a home run in San Diego, I guarantee you. Hey, Al Kaline. Best of health to you.
Thank you. You too, my man. Great seeing you.
I'll see you in Cooperstown.
Thanks,
Jimmy.
Al.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for your time. After 4 here at Comerica on this Saturday, the Tigers with a 1-0 lead, each team with 2 hits, but the big blow from Cameron Maben, his first home run of the season for the Tigers. And they have the lead as Michael Fulmer goes back to work here in the 5th inning. He's had a solid 4 innings, allowing only the 2 doubles, and he struck out 6 and has walked only 1 man. Logan Morrison struck out swinging his first at bat. And the shift on Castellanos, the third baseman, playing in shallow right. That one clipped back foul. Morrison, Kiermaier, and Casale, the 7, 8, 9 batters in the order here in the 5th inning for Tampa Bay. Talked about the Rays going for the home run. They were leading the major leagues as of the start of the series and hit 2 last night, but Baltimore must have hit 4 last night because the statistics came out this morning, and the Orioles now with 61 home runs on the year and the Rays 60. But you could win a wager with some fans around baseball country. Who's got the 2nd most home runs? What team? You wouldn't think the Rays, but they go long ball. Morrison punched out for the 2nd time.
Here's the Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window.
So pitches. Williams swings as a high drive going deep. It is a home run against the tip top of the right field stand. A tremendous home run that brought in 3 runs and turned what looked to be a National League whip into an American League 7-5 win.
Yeah, that's Red Barber's call at Briggs Stadium, the 1941 All-Star Game with Ted Williams, the 3-run homer planted up on the roof of Briggs Stadium. Around goes Kiermaier on the swing. And Ted told me that was his greatest thrill as a ball player. I think he was 22, 23 at the time. The Kid, they called him. The greatest hitter I ever saw, and that's with due respect to Al Kaline and the other Hall of Fame hitters.
The Kid, huh?
The Kid, the Thumper, the Splendid Splinter.
Here's a kid for you.
I'm going to share why I think he was the greatest. It popped up, and that'll be out of play. at 39, Kurt. 39 years of age. He said, I didn't have any legs. I didn't get one infield hit. He came 6 hits from hitting 400 at 39 years of age.
Wasn't he the last guy to hit 400?
Yes, he was. There's a drive into the right field corner that could be trouble. And into the corner and making the catch, J.D. Martinez. He hit 401 in 1941, so all those years, decades have gone by, and Ted Williams is the last. And he was a scientist. His on-base percent, if you're going to measure a player by how many times he doesn't make an out, in other words, how many times does he reach safely, Ted Williams is all alone, ahead of Ruth, Cobb, all the rest of them. His on-base percentage was nearly 500, nearly 1 out of every 2 times at bat he reached safely.
That's strong. Go ahead.
I was just going to mention strong. This young Kurt Casale's a pretty strong young man. He delivered, what, back-to-back 2-run home runs last year? That one he's trying to measure as it hooks down the left field line and goes foul.
Yeah, he's aggressive early like all the Rays have been. Just foul.
Fly to left field his first time.
It's kind of interesting. Casale is the catcher of Smiley. Both were drafted within the Tigers organization. Casale in 2011, 10th round out of Vanderbilt.
Now they're the battery mates with the Rays.
Yep.
Foul back, good swing there. He was traded to Tampa Bay for left-handed pitcher Carl Lobstein a couple years ago.
Now he's platooning with Hank Conger.
That Vandy team must have been pretty good. They had David Price on that club as well.
Yeah, pretty easy to be looked at as a good catcher when you're catching David Price, right?
Well, and Smiley as well.
Sparky Anderson used to say players make him a much better manager. That's obviously true.
Excuse me, Smiley was not a battery mate. He did his pitching at Arkansas. It's in there, strike 3. Number 7 for Michael Fulmer. We're at the halfway mark in this one. 4.5 in the books, and the Tigers lead 1-0. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
Let's take a look at Big Boy's big play of the game. Cameron Maben lead off in the 3rd, goes deep against Drew Smiley. What an incredible start for Maben. 9 for 14, 4 steals, adds a home run and several runs scored, injecting energy into this Tiger team.
Boy, what a remarkable start coming off the DL for Maben. 5 games, going 9 for 14.
It's got to be one of his best stretches ever.
Yes. Back where he started with the Tigers, number 1 draft pick by Detroit. 11 years ago, he was the 10th player overall selected.
And the first time he came up, probably rushed a bit. You know, it's hard to brush a first rounder regardless of where you're drafted. To come up here and learn your lessons in competition. Again, Justin Upton did it in 2007 in a playoff race and did very well.
Loop to right, that may fall. And does for another hit. Oh, is he hot.
Got a lucky horseshoe, doesn't he?
You'll take those. 3 hits last night and 2 for 2 today.
Home run his previous at bat, gets the head out. Right now this ball gets in on him a little bit. It's cutting off the label. See, he keeps with it. Good length with the swing, doesn't cut it off. Muscles it over the second baseman Pierce between the right fielder Souza Jr.
And now he's in position to extend that steal streak. He's 4 in a row, best since Davis. And if he steals 5 in a row, that will put him in incredibly elite company. Ty Cobb and Ron LaFleur stole bases 5 straight games.
And it's interesting how he comes back. We were talking about Smiley and who he was traded for at Casale. Well, Maben was in the Cabrera trade. So now they're teammates.
Yeah, that's today's world with a free agency and trading players. It's not like the good old days when Al Kaline stayed for his whole career in the Tiger uniform. Thank goodness for those.
Yeah, the last Tigers to do so were Trammell and Whitaker.
That's in for a strike. Alan Trammell should be in the Hall of Fame. He has the numbers to be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree, and now that you're in the Hall, you got pop.
No, I don't get a vote.
We're putting it on you. Well, you can.
I can.
You can
campaign.
Raise the subject. Yes.
Nothing much to that move. James McCann sent the right fielder Souza deep to the warning track to catch his drive in the third inning. Had an RBI single last night.
Look at Omar Vizquel walking right up with Maben. They're going to compare notes. They've watched film before this game. Now you're trying to verify what you've realized before the game live, and then you take the bag.
There he goes. And a fly ball, shallow center, long run from Kiermaier. And did he make the catch? No. Trapped it, and oh, he may be hurt. He comes up holding that right wrist.
He's coming off the field.
Oh, no.
You see, something's not right there.
Oh, you hate to see that. Kiermaier with a brilliant break on the ball, a Gold Glove center fielder. You showed you why in the effort on that play, and it may have been a costly one as he's holding that left forearm. Let's just hope it isn't as bad as it would appear. Tiger faithful giving Kiermaier.
Hey, he's got a dislocation or something broken there. This guy was the defensive player of the year last year. He got a gold and platinum glove, and that's going to be a big blow for the Rays. Hate to see that on a good effort. It's Desmond Jennings that's going out to.
So here it is again as Maben breaks on the pitch. And he's got to play it halfway.
Oh.
No, he thought he caught it. Now he'll hold his second. Oh.
You could see his wrist go right underneath him. He was slow. Oh. Yep. Desmond Jennings will take over for Kiermaier.
He was in the starting lineup last night, Jennings. Had a hit in 4 at-bats. Well, as soon as we get a confirmation on the injury, we'll pass it along to you. But sometimes it looks worse than it really is. You always hope that's the case, but that looked pretty serious. Jose Iglesias is the hitter, number 9 in the order for manager Brad Ausmus. Applied to right field his first time. Runners at first and second. A couple of blue pits off the bats of Maben and McCann. Table set with no one out here in the 5th for the Tigers to add to their 1-0 lead. Rays infield set up anticipating a sacrifice by Iglesias. He squares. Throws back to second base, and they get him.
I don't know.
It was a late tag. Maben certainly was a good distance off the bag. He was 25 feet toward third. And no argument by Maben nor the Tigers, apparently.
No, he's out.
Snap throw by Casale.
Saw the thumbs down right there. Very good play by Casale. That's what happens when you're out there.
Oh, it looked like his hand didn't go to the bag.
He
Might
had
have
it
hit
blocked.
his foot. Yeah.
Good play by Miller right there. Blocked the bag. He would have gotten it safe.
That's a big out. Now he's swinging and fouls it away.
That's a tough one if you're a base runner. When you're out there and you have the bunter punch out at the ball, it's hard to read. You're trying to get a good jump. Nevertheless, it is your job and responsibility as the base runner to get back. So a little bit of a base running mistake there. Tigers will have to overcome it. Cam Maben certainly has been doing his part, though.
Line drive, second baseman. No, he dropped the ball. Now he'll have to go to second for the force. And safe at first is Iglesias on the fielder's choice. Now again, there's that awkward play. Where do you... You're in no man's land as the base runner at first base.
Yeah, you have to go back to first base. McCann did the right thing. I thought they could have called this actually either way. I thought he could almost called it a catch. Works out for the Tigers.
Yeah, it was
because they got McCann off the bases and they got Iglesias on.
So 2 outs. Top of the order, Kinsler. He had a flare single the last time up. Kevin Cash talking to second base umpire Chris Conroy.
See, he's fighting for what I was talking about. He wants him to say it was
a catch.
And that would put McCann on first base. He wants to slow a runner out there.
And it did look as if Pierce was making the transfer, that he'd caught the ball and it was in the transfer, but it was that borderline, and the call will stay, obviously.
Kind of a snow cone. There you see, it looks like he's got it secured. Maybe they called that it hit the ground as well.
So Iglesias hit first base, a potential base stealer, and Kinsler the hitter. 1-0 Detroit here. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Strike. 89 on that delivery. The only run, Cameron Maben's home run, leading off the 3rd inning for Detroit. A ball and a strike. Next pitch will be number 80 for Drew Smiley. Pulled to third, glove by Longoria, goes the short way for the out, and that's it for the Tigers in the 5th. On we go with Detroit in front, 1-0.
Rays Tigers, Sunday at 12 on Fox Sports Detroit.
Well, as you can see, the party is still going strong in Armada for this Magic Window game break, as fans all over the state of Michigan are enjoying the return of legendary broadcaster Dick Engberg. He and Kurt Gowdy, by the way, the only members of the Baseball, Basketball, and Pro Football Halls of Fame. Now back to Dick and Gibby at Comerica Park.
Yeah, thank you guys for doing that, to go out to Armada, and our friends and those who support the Armada educational system. We have a golf tournament every August, and they raise a considerable amount of money to fund what I think is one of the best, the very best educational organizations in all of the state of Michigan. They're just a long way from the 33 that graduated with me back in 1952. That is a terrific school system.
A little bigger?
A little bigger. Well, it's become quite a little bedroom community, Armada. It was just farms. In fact, we had to be bussed in. It was called the Armada Rural Agricultural Schools, just to get 33 in a class. Now it's they're around 100 or so. Top of the 6th inning, and how about Michael Fulmer? The young man has allowed the Rays only 2 hits, a couple of doubles. He struck out 8 and walked only 1. Powers that fastball. He
still hammered in there. Good velo, 97 miles an hour.
2-2. It's just outside.
This is where Tiger pitchers have struggled beyond Jordan Zimmerman and Justin Verlander. Sanchez, Pelfrey, previous games have gotten to the 5th, but had a hiccup there, so we wanted to get through this inning.
It was inside, but he couldn't check his swing. 91 on that delivery, and number 9 in the strikeout column for Michael Fulmer.
We're going to go back to this Cameron Maben play. You got first and second, nobody out, and this is how this happens. You're seeing Maben up here. We'll go ahead and run it, and we'll stop it. Watch what Iglesias does. He bunts and punches that. It looks like he's running to first. he sees this guy coming, and Maben's going to take off. Maben takes off, and that's why you can't get back. So it's a tricky read. I think when Iglesias kind of looked like he was running down to first base, that maybe it fooled him, but they'll have to overcome that.
First pitch strike to Brad Miller. Has one of the 2 Rays hits today. Both hits identical. Ground ball doubles past third. Hit by a left-handed batter. Swings through that. Fulmer getting better as the game progresses. He's now retired 8 in a row. 9 by strikeouts. 6 was his previous high.
Coming at the batters more than I've seen him so far this year.
Swing and a miss. That's 10 strikeouts. 3 in a row. He got Casale to end the last inning.
Well, he's making a statement here in the top of the 6th, coming with his power stuff, and has struck out Brandon Geyer and now Brad Miller.
Brings up Longoria. He's struck out both times. And he's just rearing back and firing that heater.
Up to 98 there on the Tigers scoreboard.
He's not wasting any time. I'm going to throw another one. This is working for me. And maybe not. Hit deep to left field, to the wall, and Upton leaps, and it's gone. Oh my. Cruising along with a strikeout pitch, but the ever dangerous Evan Longoria tied into that one and just did clear the wall and left over the try of Upton, and that ties the game at 1. Longoria's 8th of the year.
Yeah, lots of fastballs coming this inning. Fulmer really feeling it, throwing the ball harder than ever. It looks like it gets in on him a bit, but very good strength from Longoria. He muscles it out. Did Jap lose his glove?
He just not quite far enough.
Just missed it.
You're going to see him make some really spectacular catches in left with the Padres, able to do just that with his strength, to use that wall and brace off the top of the wall and really get up 3-4 feet and take home runs away. So it's tied at 1 here in the 6th. Steve Pearce, the hitter. He's walked and flied to center. 500 career extra base hits. That's quite a milestone.
Yeah, he's got a few. Boy, it's a tight zone right now.
That home run is his 213th career clout. Two and 1 in there. Went to the breaking ball. 2 and 1. Ground ball through the right side, and Pearce is aboard, a 2-out single. Well, you called it, Gibby. The 6th inning has been the jinx inning for Tigers pitchers.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. See in the month the team ranks of Steve Pearce. Average, home runs, RBI, OPS, and runs all first. Off to a pretty good. He probably doesn't want to see the month of May go, does he?
They say he's one of the top ping pong players in baseball. It was like a ping pong shot, just a little forehand to right field. In for a strike, starting Corey Dickerson. He hit the ball deep to left field the last time. Struck out his first at bat.
Now, when you were at Central Michigan, you guys used to play a lot of ping pong?
Oh yeah, down in the dormitory basement. You know, that was what
were
we
you
called
any good?
Defensive player. Another strike. Rearing back. 95 on that pitch. How about you? You played a little ping pong?
Oh yeah, probably more than I should have.
I bet you were a little competitive, weren't you?
Well, we all were. We all were. You know, you kind of live with your teammates, so. We competed every Saturday and also every day. Of course, after we did our homework.
You're talking about with the Tigers and the Dodgers?
No, I'm talking about when I was in college. That's
at Michigan State.
Yeah, it's kind of when we had the table set up. You walk by and always a game of competition around for you. If you didn't have enough that day already, competed at everything we did.
Two strikes the count. Keeping an eye on Pierce.
Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. 98 this inning, low of 84 from Michael Fulmer.
1-1 tie on Longoria's 2-out solo home run here in the 6th.
Quite the pitcher's duel going on today. So the little things, these are the types of games with the little things that really make a difference. So from here on out, got to get as much out of your starters that you can. Fulmer now at 85 pitches, 55 are strikes.
Drew Smiley back even at 1-all. Identical totals: 1 run, 4 hits, no errors, 3 left for both teams. Fouled through the glove of catcher McCann. Well, tomorrow quite a pitching matchup here at Comerica to close out the 3-game weekend. Jordan Zimmerman on the hill for the Tigers. He's 6-2. Chris Archer will go for the Rays. He's won 3 and lost 4, but one of the top arms in the league. Beautiful crowd today on a perfect baseball day. Spending a lot of time keeping an eye on Steve Pierce. Pierce has not stolen the base all year.
That's what you call hold and step off. Basically, the pitcher is going to just hold it until they call time, and then you just step off. This is a way of making sure they know that you're keeping an eye on them, and also if they are getting jumpy over there, you might pick him off.
He goes into the dirt. A tough play for McCann, and the tag on the back is successful. Iglesias swiping on a throw that was wide. Beautiful move by the shortstop to erase Pierce. He was well by the infielder.
Great athleticism right there. The ball was sailing up into the first base part of the field, and Iglesias gloves it and makes it a spectacular tag.
But Longoria with the home run for the Rays, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Comerica. Tigers 1, Tampa Bay 1. Got him in the chin.
They bring heart, strength,
Fly ball left field. Goodbye.
determination,
Leaps up and he makes the catch.
experience. And by the end of every game, they'll leave it all on the field. For tickets, go to tigers.com.
J.D. Martinez will start things here in the 6th for Detroit, tied at 1. He's grounded out and struck out today. Martinez, Cabrera, and Martinez, the big bats here in the top of the 6th, or bottom of the 6th. He fouls that back. Pulled foul. Well, tomorrow being Sunday reminds me, looking back many years, to one of the favorite Tigers, Sunday Punch, Charlie Maxwell, Pawpaw, from Pawpaw, Michigan. And it's something about Maxwell and playing on Sunday. You almost could expect a home run if it was at Briggs Stadium or Tiger Stadium. High. 2-2.
You like the nicknames, don't you?
Yeah. Well, your dad had a nickname. He went to Central Michigan. He had really good taste, you know. It's a shame you couldn't get into Central. Doggone it.
Yeah.
We could have used you there with the Chippewas.
They wouldn't recruit me. Stumbled across Michigan State.
Hoot Gibson, wasn't that your dad's nickname?
They call my dad Hoot, and it's kind of carried down to me now since my dad's no longer with us. But Hoot Gibson was his name, and it's kind of cool, you know. I like nicknames myself. When we are here and I doing my research on the guys from the other teams, I like to look at the nicknames and try and figure out why, or better yet, give somebody a nickname.
That is fun.
So we had a contest for Mario. And I think when we call him Big M, that was one of them. Has anybody had a nickname for you?
Well,
I mean, ones we can talk about.
No, well, it was just a silly one. At Central Michigan, you know, my friends in high school and college often reminded me. My dream was to be a major league ball player, but they reminded me, hey, Engberg, you always talked a better game, and it worked out okay. And I was, one of those guys that even when I wasn't playing, I was yapping all the time in the dugout and trying to get on the opposing pitcher. And so Tom Dzelski, he was the infielder as a walk to Cabrera. They pitching around the slugger. To rhyme with, remind with Armada, they called me the Armada Tomato.
Armada.
That's not exactly, Bronco or Bruno or Slugger or whatever.
Well, it's got to be a compliment.
Well, I guess. So that's the second walk given up by Smiley. It didn't appear he wanted to throw anything Cabrera could hit. Here's Victor Martinez.
Yeah, I guess he thinks he can get Victor. Maybe try to get him to roll into a double play.
That's a strike. His fastball at 89. He walked the last time, Martinez. Castellanos in the on-deck circle. High again. Out of the zone at 91.
If you're a hitter, the Tigers hitter, you're on your third at bat around, so you got a pretty good idea what Smiley's going to do for you. And in general, early in the bat, you're going to eliminate something you're not going to offer at all. And there's got to be an area you're looking for the ball.
Oh, down he goes, swinging at that slow breaking ball. And did he hurt himself on that swing?
That's his
turn an ankle. Gingerly gets back on his feet.
That was 74 miles an hour, so off-speed pitch. He saw it good, but it looked like he's looking for the heater way out in front. Just kind of a weird swing, got off balance. Wasn't going for a single there, was he?
See the twisting motion there. Lower lip. Yeah, you talked about it, the aches and pains and nagging injuries, and the average fan. I mean, you have the uniform, you're in the starting lineup, you expect that, hey, they're fine. It's not that tough a physical game. Oh, couldn't be wrong. The relentless nature of this game, going spring training through a full season, maybe playoffs.
Well, things like this happen as well. So, he obviously twisted something. So you're going to deal with that even though he's in the game. You're going to have little tweaks that you have to deal with, but they're way better in the training room at preventative medicine, I guess you could say, and then also the rehab techniques. They strengthen the joints better than ever.
Pops that one up. Back of the plate and a play for Casale up the elevator shaft on that pop fly for the second out.
Here is the 1-800-CALL-SAM call of the game.
Performance, here it comes. He pops it up. A tough play. No hitting for Nolan Ryan. Ryan has become only the fifth man in modern Major League history to
And my wife says, boy, your voice has really changed. I said, honey, those are old tapes, and the slower they go, the more your voice goes up. Come on.
The quality, tape quality is not good.
That's the greatest pitching performance I ever witnessed. He had 16 strikeouts after 6 innings. He was going to blow out the record for most strikeouts in a game. Billy Martin stalled in the 7th inning. The Tigers took about a half hour to bat in the 7th. Unlikely inning for the Angels because they didn't have much of an offense, and then it iced Ryan. He finished with, I think, 19 or 18 strikeouts. Line drive. That's a solid base hit. Castellanos has his first hit in the series. That moves Cabrera into scoring position in this 1-1 tie. Action in the bullpen, Kirk.
We got Cedeno and Geltz. Cedeno the lefty, Geltz the righty. The Tigers got action again. They had action last inning as well, but had to pick off. But we got through that, and now we're on to this inning. They'll leave it up to J.Up.
Justin Upton, the hitter. That no-hitter was in 1973, and the thrill for me coming back as a Michigander, as the announcer for the Angels, that it was in Tiger Stadium. Foul back. Good cut by Upton. And of course that no-hitter had its humor as well. Most of you know the story that Norm Cash, and we have a moment we'll share that with you, but it's a big moment on the field here at Comerica. Tigers trying to break the 1-1 tie. The outfield gives Upton all of left center. In the dirt.
Now we've got first and second, 2 out. Now if you look here, now Miggy's got to really try and get off here so he can score, but remember what happened to Maben, so you got to balance that. You want to have a good aggressive lead down there at second base. You must score on a ground ball or a hit to the outfield, yet you have to get back. So as soon as the ball passes the hitter, you must go back quickly. You're trying to have your timing so that right leg is just coming to the ground when the ball passes through the hit zone. You want to get the foot down, you read it, foot goes down, and you're on your way.
2 on, 2 out. On the outside edge, Sparks are on Culpa.
Well, Kayla was talking about them keeping the ball away to J.Up. There you have it.
Paint.
Durwood Merrill, he used to say, Hall of Fame pitch, Gibby. Curtis. I'd say that's a ball. That's not a Hall of Fame pitch. That's a ball.
But you don't have a vote.
Yeah.
1-2 the count. High fly ball, innocent, center field. Desmond Jennings tucks it away, and the Tigers leave 2 more. We're on to the 7th. Rays 1, Tigers 1. Let's revisit that 73 no-hit game. Norm Cash made the final out, but he was a free spirit sort of a guy, and he came up the batting time before. This is the final out, and secured Ryan's second no-hitter that year. He'd pitched one earlier in Kansas City, so 2 in the first that season, on his way to, what is it, a final 11 no-hitters, the all-time record.
That's crazy.
And he had 12 one-hitters. I saw one no-hitter spoiled on a pop fly with 2 outs in the 9th inning that hit second base. The shortstop and second baseman looked at each other, wasn't hit very hard, landed right on second base for the only hit of the game. Anyway.
What he did, he carried up. Didn't he have a table leg he brought up?
Yes. Swing and a miss. Leading off here in the top of the 7th inning is Corey Dickerson with Sousa and Morrison to follow. Yeah, Cash goes. You saw the scene there. Ron Luciano was the plate umpire. He was a character himself. And Cash took the first pitch for a strike. And then Luciano noticed that he didn't have a bat in his hand. He had a table leg. And he chased him back in the dugout. Go get a bat. Cash came back up. He said, "Why'd you make me do that? I'm not going to hit him anyway." And indeed, he struck out.
I just remember when Nolan Ryan and Frank Tanana, when Tram and we were all very young, for a doubleheader. That's when Frank Tanana threw 100 with the big curveball.
Catholic Central here in Detroit. Frank Tanana. Yeah, we used to say Tanana and Ryan and 2 days of crying.
Yeah, well, and some guys that got sick to their stomach before the game, right? Ryanitis, Tanana-itis.
Yeah, he could pitch inside. That's out of play. And in fact, Frank then hurt his arm with the Angels and eventually wound up back here in Detroit and reinvented himself as an off-speed pitcher.
Yeah, 81 miles an hour, inside fastball. He broke 3 bats for George Bell in 1987 in the playoffs. I think the score was 1-0 on Sunday. We came back and beat him after being down 3.5 games with 6 to go.
The Wilson tandem warming up for the Tigers.
Alex and Justin, lefty and a righty.
Full count to Dickerson, leading off this top of the 7th. Off the mask.
You know, one of the issues here for Michael Fulmer, beyond how long do you leave him in, he's a young guy. I believe he threw about 125 innings last year in the minor leagues. Right now at 15, if you just said he was, let's just use 30 starts at 5 innings apiece, that's a 150 innings.
Yeah.
That's about it. I wonder what the Tigers' philosophy is on how many innings they're going to let Fulmer pitch this year.
That's 95 that he's thrown today. Brad Ausmus had a chance to chat with Brad. He, of course, was with the Padres. In fact, came up with the Padres. One of the outstanding defensive catchers in his generation. Pulled foul again. And with the off day on Thursday, Brad hopped on a red eye, went back to California to San Diego to participate in a special occasion. His daughter Sophie graduating from high school, and so he's able to go back and surprise her at that banquet. Nice touch. Good dad. She's going to Dartmouth, where Ausmus attended. High fly ball back a short. Iglesias makes the play. 1 away. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here comes Ausmus to the mound. See whether or not he, in chatting with Fulmer, and of course McCann will offer his 2 cents as well as to whether or not Fulmer still has the right stuff, and he's going to stay with him.
Well, the most pitches Fulmer's thrown this year is 98. He's at 97 right now. I'm not exactly sure what Brad told him. We'll find out. Maybe he asked him if he wanted to stay in, but they generally are very protective of pitchers nowadays.
Souza takes high. He's still got the high octane fastball. That one was a slider, but even 89 for a slider. That's Smiley's fastball. There's an off-speed pitch, and that fools Souza.
That's a very good changeup right there. Like I said, that's a work in progress. You can see the grip. Turns his arm over, the ball goes down. Now, Fulmer, when he throws his bullpen, I think last time he threw an extra 20 pitches, and most of them were changeups. That's kind of how he's trying to get that game ready. You want to be able to use that pitch in any count of any game. There's another one. That's what the good ones do. Can't just get behind in the count and throw a fastball, because the major league hitters are going to make you pay.
Good action. That bottom dropping out of that changeup.
Good arm motion to go with it.
And then back upstairs, so you see that changeup, and then he pumps that 97-mile-an-hour fastball at you.
We're looking at the pitches by inning. At 101 right now.
Strike 3 call. 11 punch outs for Michael Fulmer. What a performance.
first Detroit rookie with 11 strikeouts since Pat Underwood.
Wow.
1979 versus the Indians.
37 years ago.
I'm going to say this is probably his last hitter.
Logan Morrison steps in. He struck out both times. Starts him with off speed. Both runs on home runs. Cameron Maben with his first of the year in the third. And Evan Longoria to left field in the 6th inning. Number 8 on the season for Longoria, extending his hitting streak to 9 games in a row. It's been all pitching. Michael Fulmer dueling with Drew Smyly.
James McCann going to a lot of off-speed pitches in this 7th inning. And you saw that strikeout looking. That's when you switch them over. They're looking for the changeup, and then they take the fastball right there. As firm as he's throwing, that happens very quickly. He gave him the fastball twice. Fulmer did not want to throw it.
So McCann's going to go out and convince him that he's in charge of this game, but you want to make your pitcher happy.
Yeah.
You know, the best offer of the year is back. Buy one ticket, you get a second one free for select games against the Yankees, the White Sox, and Mariners. To purchase, visit tigers.com/BOGO. Not to be confused with Boo Goo. Broken bat, one hopper. Kinsler with the easy flip, and the inning comes to an end. Stretch half of the 7th inning at Comerica. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. Maben and Longoria home runs for the Tigers and Rays. A 1-1 tie, bottom of the 7th. Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Well, what a performance by Michael Fulmer. He got a standing ovation from the Tiger fans as he left the field, and well, he should. 11 strikeouts, only 4 hits allowed, 1 run, the home run, in 7 innings of stellar work.
4 hits, a run, 1 walk, 11 Ks. Raising the expectations, isn't he?
Yeah, that offers considerable promise as you look ahead to this Tiger rotation. Here's Maben, followed by McCann and Iglesias in the bottom of the 7th. Opposing pitchers having trouble getting Maben out. He does not able to check the swing on that pitch, and the count is 1-1. His home run over the left field wall gave the Tigers a 1-0 lead in the 3rd. Blooped a single to right in the 5th. Last night, Daddy Longlegs, 3 for 4, a home run, or a hit and run single, and 2 other base hits, 3 for 4. Off the head of the bat foul. That's the left-hander Romero tuning up.
What Romero? Any Romero.
Any Romero. Oh, okay.
I got had by Mario yesterday on that one. Sorry to pull it on you, Hall of Famer.
Let me get that hook out of my mouth.
Plagiarism.
Thanks to Mario in Pemba for letting me use the seat today. It's been a thrill for me to be here in Detroit. Ground ball, another hit for Maben. Send him to a higher league. 3 for 3, 6 for 7 in the series. And now 11 for 16 since coming off the DL. Oh my.
Things are going good for Cam Maben. Everything he hits is dropping in for a hit, whether he hits it hard. Also, he had the home run today. This one here gets in on deep. Tampa off the line on him, and he's thinking 2 out of the gate here, but Souza over there quickly to gobble it up.
Gives him another chance to extend that steal record to 5 consecutive games. As McCann steps in, is the bunt in order here. Looked to single to center the last time.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That was the play in which Kevin Kiermaier injured his arm, and we've not heard any official word on the injury as yet, but it did not look good.
You know, you're over in the National League. At this point in the game, this would be probably a bunting situation here in the bottom of the 7th. In the American League, you don't see it as much.
But he did square. Not a very good effort.
There you see the third base coach, Dave Clark, giving signs.
There it is. Wipe, swipe, left hand, right hand, together, face.
Usually when you put the bunt on, your third base coach, you can only take it off. You don't put the same sign on every time, because the other team, they're watching the signs. They can tell what your signs are. They're going to throw over to first.
So are you saying that was all window dressing that we just saw from Clark, or was the sign in there?
There could be a takeoff sign in it. So the bunt is on and it stays on until it's taken off.
Right.
Because if you have to go through the sequence of signs and put the same thing on, bunt in this case, the opponents can start to pick up your sequence.
Outside. Yeah, back when I was trying to coach at Cal State Northridge, we had when you swipe the old D or the letter on the jersey, that was taking it off. Anytime you rub the letter in the front of your jersey.
There they do bill of the cap, bunt, top of the hat, hit and run. If you touched anywhere that was skin, steal. They're much more sophisticated now. In fact, many third base coaches have separate signs for all hitters.
Yeah, that really is complicated.
Well, you have to find a way to communicate, that's for sure. The biggest strike called, 3-0. Zone gets bigger, doesn't it?
Yep, they're more generous. Now 3-1 to McCann. No one out, and Maben there at first base. Potential tiebreaker, 1-1 here in the 7th.
You always want to run 3-1, 3-2, yet you don't want to get picked off here. There he goes to first again. And he doesn't really have a good move. It seems like they should be able to pick him up by now.
Yeah, one of the great base stealers of all time, Maury Wills, used to say, I'd rather steal against a left-hander than a right-hander. They make up their mind often, and I can be going and they're still looking at me and they can't stop. That ball high in the air and hit deep to left field. Will it carry? Yes, it will. Touch 'em all. Maben precedes McCann to home plate. McCann with his first homer of the season, and the Tigers take a 3-1 lead.
Well, he gets all this one. We've been talking up in the count. Ball's down and in the middle part of the plate. We talk about how McCann's been looking better at the plate. More balance, less off-balance swings. Not fooled as much. He finally centers one and gets rewarded. Puts the Tigers up by 2. 3-1.
Iglesias nubs that one off the head of the bat. So that's got to make that dugout feel mighty pleased about McCann. His bat coming to life. He was 7 for 55 coming in today, a 127 anemic average, but he's swinging the bat. Hit last night, knocked in a run, single and a home run, and a long out to right field. He flirted with the homer his first at bat today. And that gives Michael Fulmer, of course, the pitcher of record, a chance to pick up a W. And swing and a miss, strike 3, Iglesias. 5 strikeouts for Smiley, but
you know, you think about guys that go through slumps, 5 for 55, 2 for 42, whatever it is. That's going to wear on you, right? I mean, if you're a fielder, you have to go out You know you're 5 for 55 now, and you're thinking about your hit, but you tell yourself you've got to get in the game. Now add to that, you're a catcher. You have much more responsibility as a catcher. You have to control the whole diamond and the pitcher.
Here's the young manager, 38-year-old Kevin Cash. He takes the ball from Smiley. Smiley leaves the game. Gave up just 7 hits, but 2 of them were home runs. Solo Maben, and now the 2-run shot by McCann. He leaves trailing 3-1. It's time to go to the bullpen for a Wallside Windows pitching change. Coverage of baseball on this day in history, May 21st, back in 1925 at Navin Field. The Tigers and Senators tied a 9th inning MLB record. They turned a combined 9 double plays. That's one under the current record, 10 set in 1990 by the Minnesota Twins. The new pitcher is right-hander Steve Geltz, a 28-year-old, 5'10", 210 pounds.
There you see his numbers. Opponents hitting 204 off him. He's actually was Angels way back in 08, a non-drafted free agent overlooked by most college teams and all major league clubs. Here he is in a big league game.
First pitch backs the hitter Ian Kinsler out of there. Kinsler, a loop single in 3 at-bats. He's now raising his average a touch from 316. Outside.
Geltz features mainly 92, 93 mile an hour fastball. Lots of sliders as well. Occasional changeup. Last year he had a big 28 straight appearances. Started on June 9th. Scoreless appearances.
Falls behind 3-0, Kirk.
It's like we like it. Like to be ahead in that count. Doesn't hold runners very well, so if we get on base, maybe we can put some pressure on him.
And on 4 pitches, Kinsler takes a walk. This Tuesday, the Tigers entertain the Philadelphia Phillies. 7:10 game time. The first 10,000 of you fans 21 and older will receive a free patriotic hat. Tickets are available. Visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Those look like a nice little keepsake. Patriotic hat. JD has struck out twice and grounded out. Wearing the collar today. Geltz, as you mentioned, Kirk is from a little town, Ransomville, New York. One stoplight town on Lake Ontario, and then went to the University of Buffalo and went totally undrafted. No one saw his worth as a major leaguer. That's 5 in a row out of the zone.
As I said last year, he was on fire, very effective. And I was talking about running, but with Miguel Cabrera on deck, I'm not sure that you want to take that base and open up first base for them to walk Cabrera.
That one will become a souvenir, as Ernie Harble would say. Fan from Charlevoix, Michigan, came up with that catch. I used to love the fact he'd always pick up some place in Michigan and salute that town by having that souvenir baseball. Most of the people believe that. Really, how did he know?
How did you know? That's right. Thought he had that super power.
He did. And all the way to the screen, right through the legs of the catcher Casali, and that puts Kinsler in scoring position. The wild pitch.
Be interesting to see here in this inning as if it continues, if Victor Martinez will hit this time. Remember, he twisted something in his last at bat. So you've got JD right now, Kinsler on second. JD makes an out. You're going to see Cabrera walked. So who's going to hit?
Breaking ball just misses. 2-2.
Now you could think about stealing third right here. Now you watch him. If he just one looks, Starts your clock as soon as the pitcher turns his head home. He's going to look back.
There he goes. Good call, Kirk. There's the throw. No throw. He pilfered third with ease. They gave him a running start, the pitcher Geltz.
Infield will come in now. Good job by Kinsler right here. Never crosses over. Gets the good jump. Longoria there in time, but the throw is not in time to get Kinsler.
So the Tigers can add a run here on and out. A walk, a wild pitch, a stolen base gets Kinsler around to third.
These are big runs at this point of the game.
And this should do the job. Deep to right. Maybe even better than the job. That ball's gone. Touch 'em all. J.D. Martinez hits home plate with his 9th home run of the year, and the Tigers extend their lead to 5-1. Detroit playing the home run game today.
Well, they're playing it all, actually. I like the stolen base by Kinsler. That has a way of unnerving pitchers, because they're kind of beating themselves up. They should have looked that guy, not let him steal. Here he makes a mistake, and J.D. goes deep.
The ball carries well to right field here, doesn't it?
When you got pop like that, especially, huh?
I thought that was going to be a warning track sacrifice fly. It just kept on going. And here's a man who can tag that one long distance. Cabrera. He's flying to right, hard ground ball out to third, and walks so far today. 2-0 the count.
Here's the Chevy Silverado most dependable player, Miguel Cabrera. You look at most multi-home run games in team history. Snuggled in behind Hank Greenberg and Cecil Fielder. 26. He had one last night, of course.
Tied with Willie Horton. Boy, that's a great list of Tiger names on that panel.
Did you see Willie around here since you've been?
You know what? The good fortune, we came over to the game last night and just got into the stadium, not even to the elevator. That ball driven like a line to right center, and the deep part of the yard, and the catch made by Jennings going away. Oh, he gave that one a jolt, and Jennings able to run it down with his outstanding speed for the second out.
Now you know why they play deep. See Jennings, we were talking earlier in the game about how deep the outfielders play for Tampa Bay Rays. Pays off on this ball off Cabrera's bat.
And just to finish the story, so we came over with Jeff Bile, the executive producer, used to be here at Fox Sports Detroit, now in San Diego, and Todd Anson, our longtime friend from California, Michigander from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And we no sooner were to the elevator, and who was right there? Willie Horton. He was the first Tiger that we were able to shake hands with coming back home.
Still got a pretty good handshake, doesn't he?
He does. And he's so proud of that statue out there in left center. That ball popped up behind the plate and will fall in the second row. Ball and a strike on Victor Martinez. There's the likeness of the man from Detroit, Motor City's own Willie Horton. Or could he hit the ball a long way?
Well, back when they used to have those bench clearing brawls in that era, didn't want to get tangled up with Willie. A very mild-mannered human being, actually, but to an extent, I guess you could say. You push him too far and he could protect somebody.
He I'm shocked, you know, Willie's presence was so big. He was such a powerful hitter that in person, you know, he's not very tall. He's just stocky. He's the literal spark, fire plug.
Oh, yes, he is.
What a nice man.
Yep, he used to have a tire put at all the facilities, and he had a drill that he did where tire would be mounted on the wall, and you would plan on your angle of attack on the ball on the tire.
There's a shot to the first baseman, Morrison. Martinez robbed of extra bases on that line shot to the opposing first baseman, but the Tigers a big inning. James McCann's first home run of the year breaks the tie, and then J.D. Martinez follows with a 2-run shot, and the Tigers lead 5-1. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Michael Fulmer, career high 11 strikeouts in 7 innings pitched. Only 1 walk as well. James McCann, finally a 2-run home run in the 7th. That's his first of the season. And Cameron Maben, again 3 for 3, goes home run today on the season, 11 for 16.
And here in the top of the 8th inning, the Tigers bring in Justin Wilson. It's time to go to the bullpen, and this is a wall-side windows pitching change.
Justin in the game yesterday. Here he goes again. This would be his 20th game on the year. Been feeling pretty fresh. 20 strikeouts, only 2 walks. I'd like to see a ratio like that, 10-1.
His first pitch is a high hopper to Castellanos, who had to fight the sun on that one with hit so high off the ground. And Desmond Jennings, in his first at bat of the game, grounds out.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Michael Fulmer in his 5th start shows everybody what the Tigers were hoping he would turn into when they made the trade. Outstanding off balance fastball was good, used it early in the game, went to a slider, and then the changeup coming fast. 3 powerful pitches, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, a run, 11 strikeouts, and 1 walk.
Not bad for the 23-year-old from Edmond, Oklahoma. He was a 4th-round pick of the Mets 5 years ago, and a Tiger now, and wearing that old English tee proudly today. Running 4 hits and 11 strikeouts. Here's Kurt Casale. He is flied out and struck out. Last year, he had only 101 at bats and had 10 home runs. That's big time production. Long ball.
He's got some pop in that bat.
And 3-0 now as Wilson falls behind. Justin with the Yankees last year, sparkling 5-0 record in 74 appearances out of the Yankee pen.
With the Pirates before that. So he's been with some pretty good organizations the last 2 years, now with another in the Tides.
That Pirates team, they've got their eyes focused on a playoff spot. That's a good lineup. And he misses ball 4. Here's the upcoming pitching matchup presented by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning, and a good one it is tomorrow, fans. Chris Archer, one of the top pitchers, although his record here early this season not up to his standards, and Jordan Zimmerman, a 6-2 start for the Tigers.
Yeah, Jordan could be 8-0. He's thrown the ball very well for the Tigers. Been deeper in the games than any other pitcher, and there's Chris Archer. He was highly touted, has come through with that big expectation. Getting humbled a little bit early in this year, as we all do if you stay in the game long enough.
As they say, it's a game of failure. If you fail 7 out of 10 times with the bat, then you're going to be an all-star. Geyer doubled his first time up and striking out the last 2. .96 on that fastball from Justin.
Got plenty of life. A little bit nibbler right now. We got to get the ball on the plate.
With a 4-run lead, you don't want to walk opposing hitters, but he's lost Casale with 1 out. There's a fine shot to center field. Holding at second will be Casale on a bullet single off the bat of Geyer.
So you walk Casale, and now you get Geyer in a 2-1 count. And you're going to throw your fastball. That's easy pickings. Got to get ahead in these counts. Ball's right there down at the bottom of the zone. Middle third. And Geyer likes that fastball.
Yeah, 2 for 4 for Geyer. That's going to kick his average up over 300 on the season. Here's Brad Miller, a double in 3 at-bats.
Behind him, Longoria and Pierce. So double play would play nicely here for the Tigers.
Low and away. Yeah, back when rooting as a kid for the Tigers, some of you old-timers will remember the right-hander who was the Yankee killer. Yankees are the dominant team in the 50s and 60s into the 70s. But when they came to Detroit, they didn't like to see Frank Larry. Boy, could he pitch. Check swing, excuse me, foul. A ball and a strike on Miller. Evan Longoria, who homered his last time up, is on deck.
Yeah, it's not a guy you really want to see with the bases loaded, is he?
No. That'll be a souvenir.
Don't hear any cups.
I'm glad you brought that up. That does. I've forgotten all about that being a routine for the when you were a young kid. The Papa Cup. That ball ripped to right field. That's going to go up the alley all the way to the wall. 1 run scores, and here comes another, and on his way to third goes Brad Miller with a triple, and the Tampa Bay Rays are fighting back. It's now 5-3. A triple to add to Miller's earlier double and a couple ribbies.
Well, Brad's tried to go more to rolls in the bullpen. And right there, Miller hangs in. He gets ahead in the count, and there's a hanging breaking ball right down the middle. Miller doesn't give an inch, and that's a 3-bagger. Scores 2. Tigers now up 5-3. But you try and get these rolls established, and he's had to, as you see him running the bases, Miller. It's out there, it's pretty much a triple. But when you're trying to get these rolls, you're trying to only throw Justin Wilson and K-Rod in up situations. They've had to throw them in down situations, and this is where it catches up a bit.
So Osmus will not play the percentages. He does not bring in a right-hander. He stays with the lefty against right-handed hitting Longoria. Ball 1. Infield will give up a run for an out. They're back.
Well, the next hitter, I think you made reference to it earlier in the game, Steve Pierce hitting .429 coming into today's game off left-handed pitchers.
5-3 now. The Tiger lead whittled. That's a strike. And Frankie Rodriguez getting ready in the bullpen. He's been on a good run of saves.
Looks like you're looking for a 4-out save, possibly.
Ooh, big swing, Longoria. 1-2.
Seems like the high fastball has given Longoria trouble today. Just keep it up there.
90 feet away, Miller from making this a 5-4 game.
I think with Miller that he tried to trick him and end up hanging a curveball.
Lays off the pitch away. 97 on that fastball. Where you get a left-hander that can throw over 95 miles an hour, they're gonna have a long career.
Well, he's done very well in Pittsburgh and with the Yankees.
Got him to chase. The ball gets away. Here comes a runner from third, and he scores. And to first base, he's safe. Now let's see whether or not that is going to be a strikeout pass ball, or did that ball hit Longoria?
It hit him on the foot when McCann threw the ball to first base.
Oh, that's a big break for the Rays. Instead of an out to make it 2 outs in the end, they get a run, and the runner that struck out is safe at first base.
McCann, you see him pick the ball up, actually took his time, made a good throw, but ball gets down there. Longoria is right where he's supposed to be, off the back. They would have had him had the ball gone through.
So Longoria safe. He carries the tying run. It's 5-4 as Miller came in on the wild pitch. Safe on the strikeout wild pitch is Longoria. And Steve Pearce is the batter. A 3-run inning for Tampa Bay here in the 8th after the Tigers got 4 in the bottom of the 7th. Oper actually 1 for 2 today is Pearce. He pops this up off first, and it'll be back in the Tiger dugout. So in the inning, after Jennings grounded out, Casale walked, Geyer singled, Miller a 2-run triple, and now a run scores on the wild pitch. Alex Wilson now with Rodriguez getting loose.
Yeah, I think K-Rod would come into the game if we're still ahead. If they tie it up, probably not.
Just misses at 93.
22 pitches for Wilson, 10 balls and 12 strikes.
Two and one. Inside there, tied him up 2-2. Just joining us, the Tigers took the early lead in the 3rd on Cameron Maybin's first home run of the year. Evan Longoria tied it with the home run in the 6th. Inside, Tigers a couple of 2-run home runs in their home half of the 7th inning off the bats of McCann and J.D. Martinez to make it 5-1. And then Brad Ausmus saw the Rays pick up 3 here in the 8th inning, a 2-run triple and another run scoring on a wild pitch strikeout. 5-4, a good one. Runner goes. Ball hit to right field and hit pretty deep. Back goes Martinez and makes the catch on the warning pad.
That's what Longoria does. He's got one attempt this year. Kind of stands over there like he's not going anywhere, and then they give him a flash sign and he takes off on the pitch. But Pearce flies out to right field and Longoria must retreat.
Well, you had a pretty good player over there at Arizona when you were managing that did that, Paul Goldschmidt. He'd steal you a base.
Oh, he would. One of the best. I'll tell you that. Probably don't. A lot of people probably don't know Goldie, but all aspects of the game, on and off the field, as good as it gets.
The tag All-Star fits Paul Goldschmidt, fans. All right, 2 away. Visit over to the first base to keep Longoria close.
I would throw this ball over there at least 3 times in a row, maybe 4.
Dickerson at the plate. 0 for 3 today. Does not hit left-handed pitching well. In fact, he looked rather feeble last night on a couple of swings against the lefty. What was that all about? Cabrera motioning and shouting something to his pitcher, almost as if he wasn't ready for the throw over.
Miggy's he likes to talk a little bit over there. He might be just throwing a deke out there. He's going to go one of these times here.
Big wave and a miss. So there's the evidence against right-handed pitching. 8 home runs, all 8 against lefties. He barely is getting some loud fouls. Another big swing and a miss.
Wouldn't let up, would you? I'd just keep pouring it to him, up and out of the zone.
Take it up another notch. Go up the ladder again. Late.
Well by him.
Swinging an echo that time.
Longoria's over there. You got to keep an eye on him. No lead.
Struck him out. 3 pitches. 3 runs for the Rays, however, in the 8th. The Tigers hanging on. They lead 5-4. As a young boy, I can remember when we had family gatherings that I would always be asked, "Hey, Dickie, what are you going to be when you grow up?" And I never hesitated. "I'm going to be a ball player." And my father would counter with a humorous put down, "Yeah, we'll all go down to Briggs Stadium someday, and there'll be Dick, and he'll be shouting, 'Peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jacks.'" Coincidentally, another 18-year-old directly out of a Baltimore high school took my dream job in right field for the Tigers, Al Kaline. And how did he do? My dream has taken me to a great place, the Ford Frick Award in baseball's Hall of Fame. Oh, doctor, oh my, and how about that? And I tried to tie in the calls. You know, Red Barber, you would say, "Oh, doctor," and Mel Allen, "Oh my." They were the very first 2 announcers into the Cooperstown Hall of Fame.
So they were people that you tried to emulate yourself and improve upon what they had in their delivery.
And so I tried to find one of my own, a punctuation mark, and "oh my" worked for me. And as you know, in Midwest here, especially in Michigan, people say, "Well, where'd you come up with 'oh my'?" I said, "Well, if you just keep your ears open, it's a sign of acknowledgement. You hear it all the time here. It's either, 'Oh, did you hear about the Gibson boy? Oh my,' or how about, 'Oh my, hit a home run again.'" My mother used it often, sometimes in despair. "Oh my, Richard." So I just tried that when I became an announcer up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan at $1 an hour at WCEN, and then when I went on to Indiana, and I was the voice of Indiana sports for 4 years. And it's been a good friend for over 50 years. And when I can't think of anything else to say, "oh my," works.
You've been doing it for 50. Another thing you left up there was the rejet.
Oh, that was at Armada. I was on the yearbook committee for the high school yearbook, and Tiger spelled backwards is regent, in a Latin term that it fits what a.
And it's still called regent. Right?
So I left something there.
That's what I'm saying. Go back there and get a new picture for it.
Yeah, I need that. I'm going to go up there tomorrow, by the way. Ground ball foul.
You have a big cookout?
No, just going up there. You know, when you decide you're going to leave, then they do all kinds of nice things, this being one of those. And I thank, again, the Tigers and the Padres and Fox Sports for allowing me to do this. And they're doing a little documentary on, I guess, my career and my life. And they want to go back to see where it all started.
It's going to be a long documentary, huh?
No, I hope not.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, you act like for them letting us it's the other way around. We thank you for letting us enjoy what you have to give to the game, and your messages and your delivery is what everybody remembers that's listening today. I mean, this isn't the first time, but it is a treat to get to revisit it again.
Thanks, Gibby. I love this game. It's a beautiful game. I love its rhythms. I love its history. I love the fact that my grandfather owned a little grocery store in Mount Clemens, Michigan. Was proudly, he said, I went to 35 consecutive Tiger openers, and he had 2 baseballs, one 35 White Sox, one 35 Tigers autographed, and he had a big pleated pink that went into the center to the baseballs. That's how much he loved this game, and that was really kind of the start of my infatuation and love. And my mother teethed me on a baseball bat, a little miniature baseball bat. It's in my DNA. I can't help myself.
I got you. It's treated you very well, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And you come back, and we got a good ball game.
Yeah, you wrote a good script.
I didn't write it, trust me.
Yeah.
Just here to react to it.
I saw you last night after the game saying, let's make it close in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss, and down goes Castellanos with a wild swing.
Yeah, I like when it comes down to the end, I like there to be a lot of pressure involved. There's a lot of strategy, and there's more accountability for your decisions. And certainly in the National League, where you're doing most of your games, that you have to make moves earlier, so you get down to the end. You may not have what you would normally have in the American League left on your bench. So it's an interesting game. And, you know, when you watch this game, I say you can look anywhere in the stadium and understand what's going on. And you hear the sounds and watch the people and their reaction. And it takes you to a different spot. It's a very cool spot. That's the way it's there's a lot of peace in that place for me, and you as well.
And there's no bad seat. I mean, you see a different game from wherever you're sitting, upstairs right field, down behind home plate, back a third, in the bleachers and left. It's a beautiful different game no matter where you move. And any baseball fan that follows it at all, you can go outside the stadium while the game's going on, and judging by the crowd noise, you can tell whether that was an out, a home run, a routine play. Yeah, the sounds of the game dictate your vision as well. Upton pounds that one foul. He struck out and fly twice to center. Looks as if we're going to see K-Rod in the 9th.
Be a good spot here to tag a run on if you're the Tigers, though. Tigers lead cut down to 5-4 after leading 5-1 going into the 8th.
Ball 2 strikes on Upton. Backs away. K-Rod has saved his last 11 attempts. Sizzling Cameron Maben, they're on deck. 3 for 3 with a home run today. 3 for 4 last night. Oh, he chases, and Upton strikes out again. That's starting to hear a few boos from the crowd, and it hurts Upton, but be patient, he'll be okay. Well, the Tigers play the Phillies, and that young Philadelphia team is playing great ball Monday through Wednesday, and you can get 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and drinks for as low as $19. That's $19 per person. Weekday value pack. Visit tigers.com/value or call 866-66-TIGER. I saw the Phillies earlier this year. The Padres were in the city of brotherly love. And they've got some young arms, Gibby. They've got some good young pitchers, and they've turned it around. They're only a game or so out of first place in the National League East.
Yep, nobody expected them to compete, but they went through a major overhaul. And I think many times if you do it sooner than later, it works better. Phillies are an example of that.
Two 2-0 to Cameron Maben, sitting on a 3 for 3 afternoon. That's a high strike.
We talked about listening to the sounds. There's the high strike.
You'd know something went wrong. Not booed enough that it was a terrible call, but a scattering.
But we don't like it.
Two and one. Same place. Same result. Same reaction.
Well,
that's a strike.
Yep, it says it's there.
And he got him. They finally are able to get Maben out. Striking out the side. And we go to the top of the ninth inning as Ron Culpa hears it from the fans of the Motor City Nine. And here comes Brad Ausmus out to make a double switch. Boy, he put on quite a show the other day. He stripped down and put his jacket over home plate. That made all the highlight reels. Well, that's it for the Tigers in the eighth. 5-4 game. We go to the ninth.
Justin White with this 1-800-CALL-SAM update. Jackie Bradley Jr. of the Red Sox looking to extend his hit streak to 26 games, and he had to hustle to do it. Beats out the grounder. The Indians challenge, but the call stands. Red Sox pounding the Indians, by the way, 9-0 in the eighth. Now back to Johnny Kane at Comerica Park.
All right, thanks, Justin. Of course, immediately following this game, Justin White's going to be joined by Craig Monroe and Rod Allen for a post-game edition of Tigers Live. They'll break this one down from every angle. I'll be catching up with James McCann coming off his first home run of the season. Certainly we'll visit with Cameron Maben as well. He's been straight fire since coming off the DL. Gives me great honor to send it back upstairs to Dick Engberg and Kurt Gibson for now, guys.
All right, Johnny, looking forward. Lots on the plate for that post-game report. As Frankie Rodriguez comes in, Andrew Romine for Castellanos at third base, and nubbed off the head of the bat foul. Steven Souza, the first man Rodriguez faces.
Look at K-Rod's numbers, 11 of 12 save opportunities. We want to make that 12 out of 13 in about 10 minutes. ERA on the way down. Much better location. He's got his arm motion and movement of his pitches headed where he wants them.
Foul tip on the check swing, 2 strikes.
I thought Ron Culpa, the home plate umpire, did a really good job there against Cameron Maben. I've seen guys get thrown out for doing that. After he swung at that pitch, he threw his helmet down and his bat. Now, an umpire has the option of fining him for throwing his equipment or to throw him out, and he only fined him.
Strike 3 called. Souza on 3 pitches takes a walk to the dugout. Rodriguez takes care of out number 1, 2 away from a Tiger win. Well, you can follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment, any moment, with game day, live game, video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Logan Morrison, 0 for 3. In the dirt. And the shift is on with Romine going out into shallow right, and the shadows now a factor. Sunfield is left field.
Yep, the pitcher is in the darkness, and the ball is coming out of a light background, so that can be a challenge.
Yeah, pitchers love it. Of course, at Petco we have late games like this, and about this time the sun dissects between the mound and home plate, and that's really tough. That curveball comes out of the daylight, then into the shadows, then into the daylight again, and really tough to pick up.
It's very tough.
That one misses. 3-0. You don't want to put that tying run on.
He can run a little bit, does have 2 steals, and has not been caught.
Seeking his 398th career save, Frankie Rodriguez. And he walks him on 4 pitches. We got the report on Kevin Kiermaier, and we sadly have to state that it's not good. He fractured 2 bones in his left hand. They'll take other x-rays, but he knew right away he heard something. We wish him well. Good player.
2 metacarpal fractures in the left hand, and those generally require surgery.
And we have a pinch hitter.
Tyler Motter.
Pinch runner, rather. So Motter carrying a little more speed than Morrison with the tying run. Visit at the mound. McCann and Rodriguez getting things straight here as stepping in is Desmond Jennings, who replaced Kiermaier after the injury back in the middle innings. It's a good pitch.
There you can see the changeup again. Lots of movement. Boy, he really turns that wrist over on the delivery. Runs back on the outside corner.
Infield back in double play position, like they added with a twin killing. That one sliced into the crowd down the right field side. Rodriguez jumps ahead, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Rodriguez is a guy in the past you could run pretty easily on. He's doing a pretty good job right now. I was at a 1-1. Anything under a 1-2-5, I say, is really good. Michael Fulmer on the edge.
Great job for Fulmer. He's the pitcher of record. Stands to win his 3rd. Outside. Rodriguez trying to coax a strike out of plate umpire Culpa. It looked a bit wide. Let's see.
It's wide. It's off the plate. The thing is with the umpires, they know they get evaluated on every game, and they get graded, so they're going to call it the way they see it. In the olden days, you could coax them.
Hey, takes strike 3. 2 away. A couple of called 3rd strikes here in the 9th for Rodriguez.
Here it is. He does the same thing. This one come back and get the corner. McCann with the good frame job there. And the fans are on their feet appropriately.
Here's Kurt Casale, number 9 in the order. He is struck out, flied out, and walked. Scored the last time. A dangerous bat.
If you're the manager now, would you send Motter and take the bat out of Casale's head or hands?
Yeah, only if the Motter is a brilliant base stealer. Is he that good?
He's got some speed, but I wouldn't say he's lights out.
You wouldn't want to make the last out at second. Here's a strike.
And of course, James McCann has a very good throwing arm, over 50% cross stealing percentage.
Yeah, coming into the game, 8 for 15.
And he's got 1 coming in, so that's 9 for 16.
It's upstairs, 1-1. Tiger pitching today. They've had the K's going their way. 11 for Fulmer. Wilson punched out a couple. Now Rodriguez 2. 15 strikeouts for the Tigers staff today. Chop. Fair ball. The long throw. The Tigers win. Detroit 5, Tampa Bay 4 as Rodriguez logs his 12th save of the season.
Very uneventful 9th inning. That's how you like it, even though K-Rod did have a walk, a 1-out walk. Comes back with the strikeout and gets Casale to ground out. So the Tigers back on a new streak, the winning streak again.
Yeah, that gets the Tigers with 5 wins out of their last 6 after that dismal run of 11 losses in 12 games. So Detroit Bats come alive with home runs. 3 home runs accounting for all 5. And Detroit comes out with a hard-earned 5-4 victory at Comerica today. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet. More than you expect for less than you imagine. So the Tigers win it 5-4. Frankie Rodriguez logging his 12th save in front of 32,316. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. So the Tigers take the middle game of this 3-game series 5-4.
Rays, Tigers, Sunday at 12 on Fox Sports Detroit.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Happened in the 7th inning after a single by Cameron Maben. James McCann, his first of the year. Then Ian Kinsler gets a walk. And J.D. Martinez delivers to right field. That put the Tigers up 5-1. Tampa Bay comes back to score 3, with Frankie Rodriguez closes them down. The Tigers go on to win 5-4.
And here is the final score. Detroit 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors, left 5. Tampa Bay 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and stranded 4. Now we'll send it to the Call Sam Studios. Justin White, Craig Monroe, Rod Allen here with a Tigers Live postgame.
How about that toss from the legend?
From the legend.
Dick Engberg.
Said a little Craig Monroe, Rod.
Yeah. We got just a little bit of a tough act to follow today, boys, but we will do our best. The Tigers certainly did theirs. Nice win today, fellas.
Always fun, Rod, when you can go shake hand on top of the mound there. The boys went out. Michael Foreman was outstanding today, and then the offense. They just continue to hit the ball, slash to all fields. They've been fun to watch.
Great win. There's no doubt about that. They got to get Justin Wilson straightened out, though, in the back end of that bullpen. Should have been a little easier to win this game than what it was. But at the end of the day, to shake hands is important. Yes. But they got to get him straightened out. For whatever reason, he's just not right now.
Tigers get the win. Final score 5-4. We'll touch on all of today's highlights, including, yes, a strong performance from the rookie Michael Fulmer. That and more coming up next on Tigers Live postgame.
Switch to T-Mobile for Major League coverage today.
Hard to hide the love for our Detroit Tigers. And now you can show your love any way you want. Slide into any participating Subway sandwich shop, order the new premium carved turkey and bacon meal deal, or any meal deal, and get a Detroit Tigers Old English D window decal free. It's the Meal Deal Decal.
Tigers Live is brought to you by Xfinity.
That ball high in the air and hit deep to left field. Will it carry? Yes, it will. Touch 'em all.
James McCann, Captain America, leading the way with his first home run of the season as the Tigers come back to beat the Rays this afternoon by a final score of 5-4. With that, we say hi there, everybody. Welcome inside the Coliseum Studios alongside Craig Monroe and Rod Allen. I'm Justin White. Fellas, a nice way to bounce back after a disappointing start to the series last night. And Rod, I think I know where you're going with this, but the story of today's game was...
Michael Fulmer.
Had to be, right?
Absolutely. He was the story of the game today, but there are some other guys that really chipped in as well, like James McCann, really did a marvelous job here today. I love the fact that even though he wasn't really hitting all that much, he has continued to be unselfish. He's continued to call great games. He's continued to lead that pitching staff. They do very nice work when he's behind the plate, and his offense started to perk up a little bit.
How about Maven? The boost of Maven's...
I forgot about Maven.
11 for 17.
Is that good?
Got his first home run in a Tigers uniform. I know he's excited about that. I'll call you later so we can talk about it.
Oh, I see. Name drop right there. Well, we're like 30 seconds into the show, and you're name dropping already.
Listen, this is my little brother. I will definitely
hear you.
call
Well,
him.
we're going to get into all of that. We're going to touch on all of today's heroes, including James McCann, who's standing by with our Johnny Kane back at Comerica Park.
All right, James McCann, first of all, congratulations on the victory today. In the 7th inning there, you had the 2-run homer, your first home run of this season. Drew Smiley was pitching well to that point. Kind of take us through that bat, what you were looking for and what you got.
I was just looking to keep the line moving. Maven did a heck of a job getting on base with nobody out, and I worked myself into a good count, and thank the Lord I got a good pitch and put a good swing on it.
This Cameron Maven, he's been on fire here of late. I mean, the confidence that he's showing you guys, what does that do for a clubhouse?
He's been a heck of a spark plug for us. You know, just the way he plays the game. Obviously, the results are there right now, but the energy and the positivity that comes from him, he's a phenomenal teammate.
Tonight we saw Michael Fulmer have maybe his best outing in the Tigers uniform. What was his best pitch, and could you tell that he was in control very early on?
He came out and he pounded the zone. His changeup was phenomenal today. And then obviously his fastball and slider was there as well. But I think that changeup was the X factor today.
And you certainly credit the Rays for not letting you guys get this one easy. It got a little dicey there in the 8th.
Yeah, they fought till the end, and you know, they're a good ball club over there. You know, thank the Lord we came out on top.
Thank you, James.
Absolutely.
All right, James McCann had his first home run of the season. Tigers even up this series against the Tampa Bay Rays on a Saturday afternoon.
All right, Johnny, thanks. Johnny Kane heading inside the Tigers clubhouse, which should be fairly festive, I would say, after that one.
Yeah, turn the music up. Have a party.
And, guys, James McCann should definitely feel like partying right now, even though he's a bit subdued there. You know, the captain, the leader, got to keep it politically correct on the field, but he's got to feel really good, Craig, to hit that home run because you know how much he'd been struggling at the plate.
Absolutely, J-Dub. First of all, he got himself a 3-1 cookie that I mean, Rod, we talked about it in the green room. He had to be looking for that pitch, and we thought that he would get the bat head out front and do exactly what he did, and that was go deep. But I take you back to his first at bat. He just missed hitting a home run to right field, warning track power. But for me, that was a good sign, Rod, because the simple fact is James McCann continues to, well, he's struggled, but because he now is driving balls the opposite way, letting the ball travel, he came up with a big hit last night on the 2-1, bases loaded in the 6th inning there to drive in a run. But again, like I said, early in today's game, he hit that ball the opposite way, and I go, you know what? He's in a good spot right now. And I really thought it kept him square, and it allowed him, Rod, on that 3-1 pitch during the 7th inning to get his old buddy, Drew Smiley, for, I mean, a bomb to left center. Again, we love what he does on the defensive side. Now, you know how valuable he is to this team. But from an offensive standpoint, Rod, he's going to continue to get better, and he's going to put up some really good numbers on the offensive side as well.
Nice conversation with him this morning. I went down there, did the pregame show, and we were talking about his hitting, and he says, I'm getting real close. He said his BP session yesterday, he felt really comfortable about that. He said he was driving balls all over the ballpark, and he said he's really close to getting going. He got going today.
He got going today at the plate. But, guys, you mentioned the defense, and that's always there with James McCann. His defense never takes a day off. It never has a slump. We saw it last night where he picked that ball and then threw behind the runner at first. And then today, again, Rod, another just unbelievable play by McCann.
You know, it's kind of hard to put him in Salvador Perez's category just yet because Perez is winning all the armor, the gold gloves. But McCann, his release and his carry to second base and a real nice quick tag by Iglesias has been tremendous. I mean, he picks balls out of the dirt, then he comes up, throws behind the runner, picks guys off first base. But it's all about McCann's feet. That's how quick the feet work for him. Then when you get yourself in a real good athletic position, you can throw balls down to second base, and then you got to have Iglesias help you out there. I don't know many shortstops that are able to make that particular play to help McCann out. So he did get help there. But it's just good to see and really refreshing to watch a guy go out and do what he does on a day-to-day basis. He has not committed an error in the big leagues, and even though he was struggling offensively, defensively, you couldn't tell.
And you could probably say that he caught a pretty good game today
Yes,
for
did.
Michael Fulmer. But Craig, where do you start when it comes to giving out some serious credit to this rookie and what he was able to do today on that mound?
Oh my God, J-Dub, he was fantastic today. This is the best I've seen him in a Tigers uniform. Get this, 98-mile-per-hour fastball, coupled with the fact that he was able today, unlike his other starts, to use that real good breaking ball and changeup, Rod. Yes, changeup, that third pitch that we've talked about him needing to take it to that next level. But today, it was about the command. He commanded that fastball marvelously on the outside part of the plate. He mixed it with some good sliders. He changed eye levels. And then there's that changeup, the bottom falling out. He kept these guys off balance all day long. Great job by the young rookie, Michael Fulmer.
I like the fact that he forced him into throwing his changeup to the right-handed batters and also to the left-handed batters. It's the last pitch to come for him. And when we saw his video, it looked like he's almost throwing like a split-finger fastball for his changeup, but it had action on it today. It was a lethal pitch.
11 strikeouts, guys, a season high, obviously a career high for Michael Fulmer, and that puts him in some pretty elite company in terms of Tigers rookies. We're going to have more on Michael Fulmer's changeup coming up later in the show, but take a look at what I was just alluding to. Since 1913, and yes, if you do the math, that is over 100 years ago, this is through 5 starts for a Tigers rookie, and Michael Fulmer tops the list with 33 strikeouts, due in large part to 11 punch-outs this afternoon against those Tampa Bay Rays. All right, Craig Monroe, time to talk about your boy.
Let's do it.
Cameron Maybin.
Oh, yeah.
3 more hits, a home run today. I mean, this guy's unconscious right now.
He truly is, and I'm sure the ball looks extremely big to him right now. What I'm really impressed with is that he's made some adjustment. Guys, I've watched Cameron Maybin for a long time, gotten an opportunity to get really close to him and kind of talk some hitting. I like, Rod, that he has choked up on the bat, which is something that I hadn't seen. He's choking up on the bat. That swing is short, it's compact. He's showing the ability to handle the bat well, drive the ball the opposite way, drive it through the middle, but also, even though he's choked up, he can still go in the seats, and he did that today. Again, he's playing with a different kind of energy. He's brought this energy and boost to this team. Look at this swing today. 2-1, 83-mile-per-hour changeup. Didn't get out front, stayed back. Look at the eyes and the head, stay down on the baseball, catch that ball out front. And yes, sir, that'll be a souvenir for somebody out in the bullpen out there. Again, Maybin is playing the game. He's positive, Rod. His energy is spreading throughout that clubhouse and even in the dugout. And it's showing on the field.
I like the fire that he showed, and the fact that he showed that fire in his last at-bat when he struck out. His numbers are off the chain. We've well documented everything Maybin's done in his 5 games in a Tigers uniform, the 4 stolen bases. All that is great, and I love the fact that he does not have the pressure of batting up in this lineup, first or second. He's slotting him down there in that 7th slot. You got all those guys up in front of you, the guys that are really great hitters. He gets real good looks to pitcher, and then there's been some traffic on the base pass for him, and that's when he's had that real short, compact swing that you've been talking about, and he's just been barreling up some balls. He's living good this week.
I mean, he's hoping that somebody just doesn't wake him up right now.
Oh,
I mean, that's how well he is going at the plate. Meanwhile, Rod, you look at J.D. Martinez, tough night last night. 3 strikeouts, Cade in the 9th inning against Colomé, but today he comes back and he does what we've seen J.D. do so many times in a Tigers uniform.
He told me today he hated the day off.
I know he did.
He said he hated the day off. I said, just get some rest. He said, no, I didn't like the day off because obviously the team lost and some guys didn't do well, but you have to love what J.D. Martinez does. He continues to make mistakes, adjustments in the batter's box. Sometimes he'll go to right field, sometimes he'll go to left field, but this guy is just a really good hitter. J.D. is an outstanding player. You talked about the fact that he punched out a few times, and J.D.'s going to punch out. There are going to be times when he punch outs, but if you stay the course, and J.D. always has that book out, he goes and writes in that book, and then once he gets that book out, he has that book on other players, he finds the seats the opposite way. But we've seen J.D. go the other way with regularity. As a matter of fact, last year, J.D. Martinez hit more home runs to right field than any player in the game, tied with Ryan Braun of the Milwaukee Brewers. So I just love what J.D. does on a day-to-day basis. He's a really good player, and we've seen that for 2.5 years now. It's not a fluke anymore.
That Oppo, Popo, Craig, how impressive is that?
when you can hit them out to right field like a lefty, I mean, it just puts you as a right-hand hitter. It's such an advantage. You don't have to cheat. You don't feel like that front side's going to fly open. Stay on the baseball, let it travel, barrel him up. And, you know, again, souvenirs. Yeah. Somebody gets it in
There's
right
a
field.
reason why we don't see a lot of right-handed hitters hit the ball in the right field seats. You see Miggy do it. You see JD do it. You see a couple of other guys do it around the league, but not a lot of guys can do this.
Yeah, fortunately for us, 2 of those guys wear the Old English D.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Tigers get the win 5-4. We are just getting warmed up on this post-game edition of Tigers Live. Still to come, we'll show you all the highlights, including, yes, that bomb from Cameron Maben. But up next, we're heading into the skipper's office. Brad Ausmus weighs in when we come back.
Watch the precision of GMC Foxtrax technology during every Tigers game on Fox Sports Detroit. Observe ball speed, track pitching patterns, and assess strategy. Foxtrax technology is presented by GMC, the precision of professional grade.
Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss.
There it is.
He struck him out. Strikeout number 2,000 in the career of Justin Verlander. Hold on to that one. So congratulations to JV.
Tigers Live is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Weingarts, everything from lawn to snow. Offense was not the problem for the Tigers in last night's series opener with the Rays. Despite Miguel Cabrera's 800-plus feet of home runs, the Tigers' 4-game win streak came to an end. They look to start a new one today behind the rookie Michael Fulmer. And as it turns out, the kid had exactly what Brad Ausmus and his Tigers were hoping for. The skipper's interview is brought to you by Lake Michigan Credit Union, the best place for your money.
First off, Brad, you have to be pleased with Michael Fulmer, not just with the innings he was able to get you today, but with his command, the strikeouts. How would you assess his overall performance?
Well, he was outstanding. It's the best we've seen him. And really, the fastball command was exceptional, but his changeup is the best that I think he's probably ever thrown. And he threw a number of them. It wasn't like he just threw a handful. He threw a number of them. Really helped against left-handed hitters and even threw it against the right-handed hitters. So he was very good, very, very good today.
Like, it was really
now watching him clean up, or that wonderful first experience when no one's here and you walk in and just like my father promised me, you're walking into a park, a ball park in the middle of the city. How great is that?
It's the best. I'm a lifer.
Me too. Thank you, everyone. 5-4 Tigers.
All right, guys, thanks. I don't know about you guys. I could sit here all day and listen to Dick Engberg talk. I mean, he may be retiring, but he still has his fastball.
Yes, he does.
That voice, man.
That voice is... I had a chance to work with him out in San Diego a couple of years ago when we were out west. We switched announcers, and I had a chance to work with him for an inning, so that was quite an honor.
Rod, on that same subject, when you think about some of the legendary announcers in the game of baseball, who stands out for you?
Well, first of all, Vin Scully. I grew up in California, in Los Angeles, going to Dodgers games, and really, in this particular sport, he's at the top. I mean, there's really no one better than Vin Scully. There are several that are way up there with him, but no one better. I also had a chance to work with Joe Garagiola Jr., who kind of paved the way for me and taught me a lot of things. Both guys are in the Hall of Fame, so I've been privileged to be around some really, really good broadcasters.
I watched a lot of baseball players, to be honest with you. Not a lot of broadcasters, Rod. But I will say this, growing up in Texarkana, Texas, the one guy, we would have WGN, obviously, and we would hear Paul.
You can hear that all over the country.
Yeah, take me out, you know, singing the Take Me Out, Paul Curry, to take me out to the ball game. So if anybody, I would say that would be my guy.
How about you, J-Dub? I mean, who'd you grow up watching and adoring as a kid?
Well, the Red Sox, grew up in Boston. You know, the Red Sox have had some great announcers. By the way, Don Orsillo, who's taken over for Dick, has been great. Sean McDonough, actually, who's going to be the new voice of Monday Night Football, was a terrific announcer when I was growing up. But actually, my favorite was a basketball announcer by the name of Johnny Most. And Pistons fans will remember that name well, because when the Pistons and Celtics were having those classic battles in the 80s, Johnny was the ultimate homer when it came to the Celtics. So he had that gravelly voice, you know, just old school classic. So it's really cool to talk about these guys, and it was great to have Dick Engberg on our broadcast today. He was terrific.
Yes. We'd be remiss, though, if we didn't mention our own, though, Ernie Harwell.
That's
I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, you know, and what he did here in Michigan, and the fact that he was such a great broadcaster and beloved by everybody. I don't think I've met a better person than Ernie Harwell. So we have to mention his name.
Paul Carey.
Paul Carey. That's my guy. That's what I remember. Take me out to the ball. Yeah.
We have been blessed with both Ernie and Paul. It's been great. It was a fun day listening to Dick Engberg along with Kurt Gibson. All right, still more to come here on Tigers Live as we roll on from the Coliseum studios. Much more on Michael Fulmer and more reaction from inside the clubhouse as well. You're watching Tigers Live on Fox Sports Detroit.
You don't have to worry about all the family and all the accommodations. You don't mind if I come down into the tavern down there in the hotel and just hang around and listen?
No, we will welcome you with open arms.
That was, people have asked me about that weekend, and there's no exaggeration. It was the greatest weekend of my life. Ground ball is short off the bat of Souza. Easy play and an easy inning for Michael Fulmer. Can you stay another inning?
I'll stay another one with you, Dick, anytime.
All right, I'll take you to dinner. At Central Michigan, you know, my friends in high school and college often reminded me, my dream was to be a Major League ball player, but they reminded me, hey, Engberg, you always talked a better game. And it worked out okay. And I was, one of those guys that even when I wasn't playing, I was yapping all the time in the dugout, trying to get on the opposing pitcher. As you know, in Midwest here, especially in